Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with James Farley,
Hello.
Sean Bell,
What's up?
and Matt Murray.
Hi there.
We'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers for this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights. I have made a mistake, and I apologise, Simon Nelson, but you were number 2, and I skipped over you, so I apologise for that.
Oh, man.
Simon Nelson, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Thomas, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Jack Oven, Grey Dragon Claw, Colin the Car Wanker Smith, Lee Keybottom, My Dog Skip, Dean, and Steve the Nuke Littler. They are the Full Nails crew, and we owe them everything. We owe them everything. Not financially, yeah? We're not going to give you any money back, is what I'm saying. No, but we really do appreciate your support, and you can support the show by going to TCGS. Patreon.com/TCGS is the web address. We've got a bit of an announcement to make. We will be hosting, as part of our Patreon, what tier is it, Matt? Fuck! I wish I'd looked this up. Can you look up what tier it is? I think it's the Smashing It tier.
It's the £8.50 plus VAT tier.
It's the £8.50 plus VAT tier. If you are signed up to that tier, then we are hosting a Mario Kart World gaming evening on Wednesday the 25th of June. Event. If you would like to play Mario Kart World with us, then please sign up to that tier, and we'll have a jolly old night on Mario Kart World. I don't know if we'll be able to talk to each other because Nintendo, but we'll give it a fucking good go. Maybe we'll jump in.
We need to add each other as game chat approved.
Yeah, but why don't we? Maybe we don't do that and then just host it in a Discord channel. Voice stuff.
Yeah,
that would work, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's probably right.
Okay, look, let's test out Nintendo's online infrastructure. Surely,
I've done enough of testing, Matt. I'm fine with it.
How will James and I see each other?
Yeah, you don't need to see each other.
We do.
Mario Kart World stream on the £8.50 and above tier Wednesday, the 25th of June. Come and play Mario Kart with us. Patreon.com/TCGS if you want to sign up to that. Now, that's the admin out of the way. It's a bit of a different show this week. We are getting rid of the format. There is too much to do. I'm sorry, but I'm too busy. There's so much that's gone on this week. We've got all of the announcements from Summer Games Fest and the presentations around that, plus the release of the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World, and think that was about it. But we're going to be going through everything. Forget feedback, forget what you've been playing, although that's sort of covered. Forget questions, not a proper news segment. We're going to go through all the announcements first, and then we're going to move on to the Switch 2. I hope you're still with us. And you haven't just gone, well, fuck this. No feedback. Fuck that. That's my favourite part of the show.
Feedback army are in the mud right now.
Where do we start? There's so much to talk about. There is just so much to talk about. Do we start at State of Play?
Yeah, let's do it in order, I reckon.
Yeah,
James, do you want to run this? This is more of a news segment more than anything else.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought we could have a look at the State of Play, Summer Games Fest, the Day of the Devs, and then the Xbox one, because they were the biggies, I think, over the last.
I'd like to hear about Summer Game Fest.
Don't do that again. It's I
will say this.
So you could just not have the S on the end of games, James, and get it right. I don't know.
It's more than one game. It's stupid.
But that's what it's called.
I would like to say congratulations to Matt for running all the streams. He got there. He got there in the end.
Barely.
I mean, there was lots of echoing.
That's
Matt,
just kind of the sound I like.
Yeah, we do that on purpose. He's like, all right, well, I'll turn the
my
cool
voice
reverb off if you want, but
it's just what I like to do.
But more importantly, the PC Gaming Show. I checked the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel afterwards. All the talksovers are on YouTube if you want to catch up with those. 2 hours was it? The PC Gaming Show.
Yeah, it really was.
Fucking hell.
But it was. I mean, we'll come to this. It was the best one we've had in a long time.
It was the best one of those for sure.
Or maybe the least bad. Maybe that's the way to say it.
It was all right.
Well, if that's the case, then it was a pretty amazing year for these, because I thought pretty much everything Summer Games Fest aside was pretty damn good, right? There was lots of great stuff shown off. So, should we start with PlayStation, James?
Yeah, so I've shared you the link, the stuff from Eurogamer where they put together a sort of everything that was announced on here. So the
Are you
first
talking
thing
to the listener or us? Because we don't need to know that.
I'm talking to both of you actually, so that there's a structure for what we're going
Shared
through.
the link with the listener, have you? Okay.
Well,
Go on.
maybe it will be in the show notes. As Matt
If you're
will
listening
probably
to the
put it there.
podcast, just turn it off and
I'm
go
not going
read
to put it on the show
Eurogamer.
notes,
It's fine.
James. I'll put a link to Eurogame in the show notes. I can do their own research.
Look,
James,
I'm just
you should
trying to
just-
figure
James.
out the fucking structure,
They're going
okay?
to come to
So that we're clear where we are.
Patreon in a bit. They're going to.
James, you should just say that from now on, and it's in the show notes. It just puts it on Matt. You don't have to worry about it.
Watch our streams and be like, look, and Sean's got an ad blocker on. Look,
At least somebody has. Anyway,
Come on, I've just got to have an ad blocker. I don't want an ad blocker.
Sport your
Anyway.
creators. Go on.
so we had the state of play, which that took place last week, and we did a talks over for it. I mean, I think it was a pretty good show. It wasn't bad at all. Considering that there didn't seem
I thought
to
it
be
was
a lot
surprisingly good because when they announced it, it was a state of play. It wasn't a showcase. We knew
Yeah.
that there wasn't going to be much first party stuff there. There was, I mean, I think looking back on it compared to the others, maybe it wasn't quite as good as, say, Microsoft's. And I know I'm
Oh,
jumping there.
Oh,
Gun
yeah, I don't
away.
think there's
I
any
think we all-
contest there.
I mean, I kind of went into this thinking, oh, this is, because it's before everything really kicks off. Is this them just being like, oh, let's just fart this out so that we don't get judged, alongside everything else? But going in with that mindset, I was quite pleasantly surprised. I thought this was all right.
And its opening game. The opening trailer for this conference was probably my favourite trailer from the whole week. Like I thought it was so expertly done. I thought it looked beautiful, and very excited for it. James.
Yeah, this
Sorry.
was Lumines Arise. So this is
Or
yeah,
Lumines, as I heard someone call it on a podcast today.
What?
Hey,
Lumines?
you much of a Lumines fan? It's like, no.
But it's pretty
Yeah,
cool
so-
because it kicked off and it was like, is this Tetris Effect 2 or something like that? And it's because it had the
I
real
do,
aesthetic.
yeah,
and all of
I
that.
do love that Enhance as a developer have got this aesthetic sort of nailed, so that straight
Yeah.
away we were like, oh shit, is it Tetris Effect? And obviously it wasn't, but it was in that sort of wheelhouse. And yeah, I think it's nice that.
What I love about it is that the trailer is fantastic and it really does build up to the announcement, and there are so many way before you work out what it is, there are so many hints to what it is that I just didn't pick up on. I mean, instantly when the trailer launches, a line scans from left to right, and that's the biggest clue that this was going to be Lumines. And I was a late comer to Lumines. Never played it on the Vita. Never played it on anything. Even when it was there was loads of. Was there Xbox 360 versions of it?
There was an
trying to
Xbox.
think,
Three.
yeah.
It was the PSP was the one where it kicked off with.
The
and
PSP
it
was the one where
then
it was
360, yeah.
people really got into it, and it wasn't until I downloaded it. I think it was on Game Pass or something, or and I just thought, "Do you know what?" And I tried it a couple of times. I was like, "I'm not really feeling it," and I don't know what happened. It just clicked, and then when I got it for the Switch, I was like, "Holy shit, this is just it now!" And I would sit and just play it for like an hour and a half straight without putting it down, and that is a crazy thing to do on a game like that. I absolutely
right.
love Lumines, so.
You're right with the line thing though, because I showed it to Jen because she's loved those games, and it's as soon as she saw that, she was like, "Oh, it's new Lumines," and I was like, "Oh, you haven't even seen the title or anything yet," and it's like, straight away,
it's really
like,
cool.
yeah.
And it's so Lumines is getting that treatment, the Tetris Effect treatment. My only concern is that it's very busy, and the best Lumines levels that are really clear. And this doesn't, there's black and white levels and there's all sorts of effects going on around the screen. Little concerned about that, but I'm sure I'll survive. I'm super excited for this. When's it coming out? The end of the
It's
year?
the end of this year. It seems to be
Fall
PS5
2025,
and PSVR 2. It's coming to. So yeah, that's the thing. Presumably
Any
like
news on a PC date or a Switch?
Not as
2
far
date?
as-
Well, no,
Never.
I'm assuming it will come out for the others, right?
Yeah.
It'll
yeah.
probably be
Because
a timed exclusive.
Because wasn't Tetris Effect? Didn't that come only to PlayStation to begin with,
Yep.
and then it came out
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Ended
Xbox.
up on
And
basically
It was like a
yeah.
year though. It was a good year, I think, before it started launching and everything else. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same situation here. It makes sense. So I think we will get a Switch 2 version of this eventually.
Then we also saw it's like Pragmata, which is this other game that we've seen bits of before, which is a Square Enix. It's not Square Enix. Sorry, it's Capcom.
It's Capcom.
Yeah, it's Capcom, and like it looked quite different to the stuff that they showed before, which was all kind of mysterious and weird and things floating in the air and everything. And this looked a lot more grounded.
It was a lot more clear what the game actually was this time. Which is
Yeah.
the reveal trailer was man in big spacesuit, and everyone was making jokes about it. Everyone's like, "Oh shit, this is a Kojima game."
Yeah.
But this one was showing like actual sequences from the game where you've got this little girl who is a psychic, or she can shoot beams out of her hands.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the two of you working together, sort of Banjo-Kazooie style. But yeah, I thought this looked really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it didn't really click with me, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, nothing really stuck out for me, but we'll see. I've never been a massive fan of Capcom games, if I'm totally honest. So that doesn't help matters, but yeah, I mean, it looked interesting at least, so I'll definitely keep my eye out for it. But the next game,
yeah, the next one on the list is the one that I thought really interesting, which was Romeo is Dead. Is a Dead Man, sorry. It's it's another Suda51 game that looks really odd, but also very violent and
it looks like a very Suda51 game. It was quite clear that it was a Suda51 game way before they announced it was. Look, I've got a patchy relationship with Suda51. I think he's done some really good stuff. I think he's done some really overrated stuff.
I think that's
that there are elements of, say for example, Lollipop Chainsaw that was really actually quite bad. Yet it still has people going, "Oh, it's amazing," And
people
did
said
the
that
remake
about.
ever come out for that?
I don't know. I thought there was a remake, right? Did it come out? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was released or not. I know it was announced, but
Did
sorry,
you
what were you saying?
Did you ever play Mad World? Because that was that.
I didn't
black
play
and
That
white
that
wasn't
one.
them, though. That was Platinum.
Oh, that was Platinum. Not okay. Yeah, I don't know why there's similar kind of vibe I got off that, but yeah.
Was it Killer is Dead? Was another one of his, wasn't it?
Yes.
Killer is Dead. That's right. That was the one that had all these like weird controversial moments in it when. I still stand by what we said at the time, that you're not supposed to like that lead character. And maybe that was sort of abused to the fact that you had these weird missions where you were sort of gazing over a date and all of that sort of stuff. But a terrible, terrible, terrible character, and you were supposed to think that. But if you'd made it to the end, you would see how horrible this character was. Elements of that were really good. Elements of that were really shit. There's no that you can't look at this and go, "Oh my god, this is going to be amazing." But when you can look at this, you can go, "Yes, this is definitely a Suda51 game."
Yeah, and it's
and
definitely
it is
very
going
striking.
to be worth checking out. Yeah, it's striking, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the trailer really represented that. So
Reminds
Romeo's
me
a
a lot
Dead
of
Man.
Shadows of the Damned. Did you ever play that?
No.
Shadows of the Damned.
Really
I did
good.
play that.
So I think that was on the 360 and PS3, but then I think, did it get a remaster? Possibly. I remember that being incredibly good fun. This felt a lot like that.
Oh, that
Even
was the
with
one where it was like, didn't the gun have like a really awkward name that everyone referred to? He named his gun or something, and it was called
Yeah,
something like the
sounds
Big
familiar.
Dick or something like that. I can't, it was.
Very
I'm sure it was.
unsubtle Stuff.
Yeah, if you remember in the chat, please let me know. But that's not coming till 2026 anyway. So someone said it's called Gun 10. No, that was the gun Matt used
Most
to
powerful
cheat
gun
at
on
Laser
Earth.
Quest. To be
Well, I
fair.
was given it. I didn't realise at the time.
What do you mean you didn't realise?
Repeatedly.
It's given it after
They
a prior
told you.
arrangement.
Oh yeah, well, it's very loud in there. I probably didn't hear it properly.
But yeah, so Romeo's a Dead Man, not released till 2026, so we don't have to worry about it too much.
Then we had more Silent Hill F. They showed, which I think it looks great. Although I'm a little bit concerned because I've heard that it's going to be more action focused than some of the other games that they've done in the series.
Sorry,
Just
the gun.
The gun was called the Boner. It's even worse than what I remembered.
Yeah, maybe that hasn't aged as well as I'm thinking.
It was made of bones, though, so that's how they got around it.
No,
What were you
according
guys
to the
thinking
chat,
about?
the gun's name was actually Johnson, and the boner is the mode for it or something. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
This is complicated.
Yeah.
Silent Hill. Have we worked out what the F stands for yet? Has that been?
No, I don't think so.
Fear.
Yeah,
Oh.
possibly. I think this looks excellent. Real spooky. I mean,
think as well?
yeah, I think it looks really, really good. I thought it'd be more pumping in this, James. I mean, even if it is a bit more action orientated, it looks incredibly like survival horror, psychological horror, kind of like Japanese folk.
It does.
Horror. It looks so atmospheric and graphically, I thought as well. It looks really, really nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. It's just I'm a bit concerned because it's like one of the major good things that there was about Silent Hill 2, like the remake of that, was just how that was all about sort of environments and about sort of scares that were from the atmosphere rather than fighting stuff, which you did do, but it wasn't like the major focus. But I know I'm still really hopeful for this because it's
When's it
this
out?
one. That's also 25th of September this year.
Oh, cool. I'm hoping that there's one more trailer and it comes up Silent Hill, and then the F comes up, and then it pans out and it says Farley, and a car goes past, and a light, like a double flash of light goes, and Farley does the fist pump thing, looking directly at the camera. Oh God, could you imagine that? And we're all sitting there doing the talks over of it.
Yeah, and I'll be like, "How did you come up with this, David?" And like, you know,
I'll just go, well, we've been working with them for a very long time, James. Okay.
Okay, and then we got Bloodstained, the Scarlet Engagement, which, I mean, this is like, because when we first saw this, when we were watching it, we thought, oh, this looks very much like a sort of a Castlevania game.
Yeah.
And it turns out, obviously, it is, because it's it's a sort of a sequel to Bloodstained, which came out quite a long time ago. I mean, Bloodstained was one of those games that, it was Kickstarter, wasn't it? I think, it was one of those games that was Kickstarted.
I think
It was,
It
it was in
yeah.
that phase where Kickstarter was all sort of famous developers revisiting their greatest successes, but they haven't got the license anymore. So this was Koji.
How many of
Igarashi
those
who
were
did-
successful after?
I mean, this
We got,
definitely
we got
was.
Mighty Number 9. Oh, that was shite.
Oh, that was
wasn't
a
it?
terrible game. That was awful. But no, this
and-
Bloodstained
and
was...
got
there's
Shenmue
Peter
for-
Molyneux
oh,
stuff
God.
as well.
Okay.
It was all good.
Oh God.
Anyway, yeah. So this is Koji Igarashi, who did some of like the most celebrated Castlevania stuff.
Yeah.
This was him sort of returning to that basically, but as I say, without the license. But you really enjoyed it, didn't you, James? The first.
I did. It was fantastic. I really, really liked it. And I mean, I came to it later on because when it came out, particularly on Switch, it had a lot of problems from what I understand in terms of performance. But things seemed to be a lot better by the time I got to it. This, when we first saw it, I was a little bit kind of like, I'm not so keen on the graphic style of this. It's a bit. It doesn't look as sort of as moody as like Bloodstained did. But then when we found out it was Bloodstained, I'm kind of like, it'll be fine because it should be. And it's also got co-op as well, isn't it? I think it's a 2-player co-op.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. Should we skip over Digimon? I don't think anyone
I
cares.
think we can probably safely. Yeah.
Okay. Final Fantasy Tactics. Does anyone care particularly?
Yeah. It's a good game. I mean, I don't play the original. I played
Tell
the,
you, Sean, because it didn't sound convincing.
Yeah.
No, sorry. It's a good game. I didn't really like the look of the remaster. I sort of looked at it and was like, I'm pretty sure I'd be happy to just play the original, to be honest. Square Enix seem to be doing this with like every game in their back catalogue now. They've been at it for a few years where they're just doing HD remasters. But it just,
Easy money. I think.
well,
it's
yeah, so it feels like. So yeah, like I said, I've never played the original, but I gather it totally holds up. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't care. And then the next
So
game.
James doesn't care. So
No. So we move on to Baby Steps, which I mean
we all like the look of this, don't we?
looking
Yeah, I'm
forward to
really
it. I mean,
for this.
fucking played it. There's a demo on
Have you?
PC. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, because
How do you
question I had was-
control him then? Is
yeah,
it
exactly.
silly?
How is it controlled?
It's more intuitive than you would think, but you will still fall over a lot. So basically, it's left trigger and right trigger, lift your left and right foot respectively, and then it's
Yeah.
just left stick to move it in that direction.
Oh, okay.
Direction. So when you're just going over like more or less like a flat land, you can just get a rhythm and just start walking, which is like relatively easy to do. But then as soon as you find some steps, you fucked.
bit more of a challenge.
So this is it looks more than just a struggle to try and get through a level, right? It's more than QWOP because there seems to be loads of humour. The characters, the example they gave is that you find a toilet and go for a piss, and someone's looking through the window and chatting to you.
That really made me laugh when I saw that. It just looked really odd.
Like obviously the demo is very limited, but from what I played, the pacing of those little sort of interjections and bits of dialogue and stuff are really nicely paced. Like,
and so controls isn't quite as complicated as QWOP. It's just like
nowhere near
this side of that.
Yeah, because with QWOP, just figuring out how to move
go forward was a struggle.
Is a nightmare. Whereas this is like you pretty quickly get the hang of just walking forwards, but then it's the other challenges that.
It's a bit more like what's the Octopus Dad? Octodad. That was it. Yeah, I did look. The boys are going to love this, but I think they're swearing in it, right? So maybe Charlie has to sort this one out. Yep. Harry's a big boy now, so that's fine. But no for Charlie. Yeah, sorry about that, Harry. He's already seen our streams. He's not going to hear worse swear words than that. Fucking hell. Go on.
Sorry, Harry.
Then we had Hirogami, which was, what was this? I don't even remember. I didn't even.
Okay, so we did say we weren't going to go through every single game. So
we didn't say that. In fact, actually, you did say we're going to go through everything at the beginning. So if you go back to earlier on, you said we're going to go through these, which is why I'm going through these.
That's a bit different. We're going to go through these. We're going to go through every single game that was announced. That was not what I said.
Yeah, but also, okay.
Anyway, so
if you want to do it this way, though, David, but then how do you want to decide what we're going to go through? Because I've got a list of stuff that I found interesting.
Hirogami. Probably missed that one out.
What? That one looks okay. We try and transform into different animals.
Go on then. Over to you, Matthew.
What? It's like a side-scrolling indie game where you transform into different animals to get through different scenarios and puzzles. What's wrong with that? It looks okay. If you actually watch the trailer, and not a million miles away from what was a game with the orbs that we loved 2 years ago. Same kind of color palette.
Oh yeah, the one with the orbs. Are you talking about? Sorry, are you talking about Cocoon?
Possibly Cocoon. Yeah, I just had that same kind of color palette for me. It's nice.
Matt, what are you talking about?
What? I'm talking about this Hirogami game.
Same colour palette?
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Sorry, James. Sorry, I apologise then, James. I didn't know that Matt wanted to talk about every single game. So every game that I don't think we should talk about, I'm going to hand over to Matt.
No, look,
okay?
I already skipped over Digimon and pretty much skipped over Final Fantasy Tactics. So I'm trying to skip through it. I don't know. Maybe you really were liking Hirogami. I don't know. So I've still got to mention that it exists.
I've already said okay. Said okay and apologised to you. All right? Matt, what do you think of everybody's golf hotshots?
Don't care.
Well, come on. That's not very helpful, is it?
Yeah, that's going to be great. All the Hot Shots games are good, so that's going to be excellent.
Then we got Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Anyone care about that?
No.
Okay. Ken. This was the climbing
one.
The thinking man's Jusant.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about when I saw it. I thought this is going to be another.
Well, it looks like there is already
just because it's got climbing
game,
in it.
There?
Fuck's sake.
There's another Jusant game, isn't there?
There is. Yeah,
that's coming up. That's
coming up later.
Yeah, that's coming up later. This looks like another wall climbing game. I don't. It looks maybe a little bit more interesting than Jusant was, which was.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very
good game. One to keep an eye out because there is a game in there that could be interesting, but there was some elements of this that I wasn't too sure on. The whole sitting in a tent thing and looking around, and I don't know. We'll see. But the actual action bits looked interesting, so it could be decent.
Then we had Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which I do want to talk about a tiny bit because I'm kind of looking forward to this, but only on one condition.
I didn't know you an MK fan. I thought you'd hate Mortal Kombat.
No. This is the thing. I'm not a massive fan of the series, but I have got very fond memories of playing the original on the Mega Drive, like back in the day. And so,
not the first one, surely. The first one wasn't that good, though.
It wasn't that great, but it had. I'm sorry, I said this on the stream, but it had a really good soundtrack. Because it was like a redone version of the arcade version that's better, like easily better than the arcade version. And I'm hoping that this has actually got those versions on it as well, and not just the arcade versions. Because if it has, then I don't care. It's because it's very good.
Just listen to the soundtrack though.
Yeah. Yeah, if that's all
but
you want, just listen to. Yeah,
I mean,
that is a
I
very
do.
good point.
I actually do that, Sean, on a semi-regular basis. But I'd still like the, the visceral, sort
But
of.
you want, but you're excited about a collection of all the games because one of the games on the one format had a soundtrack that you can listen to anywhere you want anyway.
You've got it in one, Sean.
Surely the big pull this is the documentary, just like the previous one they did with Atari and
which were very good. I mean, these collections have been very good that they put together.
I'm more interested in this just to see the old kind of footage and the documentary than the actual games themselves. But
yeah. Then we got more Metal Gear. We know we've talked about this a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, we know it's coming.
So we know it's coming out.
How is this a remake? I mean, visually it doesn't look amazing.
It does.
What are you talking
That's
about?
a standard. Sorry, I don't know why I chose that phrase.
How can it not be remade? Look how different it looks to the original. It looks great.
No, I know, but it doesn't look good.
The original was
it doesn't look like a
PS2
current gen game.
Oh yeah, it does.
It really does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Well, I disagree too with you actually. So go up your bum. Go on.
Have you watched the 4K trailer?
Yes, I've watched the 4K.
No, he hasn't. Okay, move on.
No.
He's watching 1080.
Yeah,
complaining about the graphics.
720p. Have you watched? Okay. Oh, what the hell's going on here? Okay, Neo 3. Does anyone care about that? No.
I mean, they're meant to be really good,
ones.
but no, I've never.
This is the problem, though. Doing it this way, it's just going to be. And you've got no other way of doing it, James. I'm not having a pop, so don't get defensive. But doing it this way is just anyone. Nah.
But surely
it's like waiting for your meal and then someone coming around with the wrong meal and saying, "Did anyone order the
James go through the ones he thinks were good, and then afterwards he can go. Were there any other ones that people wanted to shout out before we move on?
A O B. Come on.
See that would work.
Podcasting for so long. Why has it got to this point to work that out? Go on, James.
We've done that. We've done it that way before.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm doing it. Okay. Well, let's shift gears to that now.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do. So
Farley's top picks.
There was more Astrobot, which is that's great. There's more levels coming to that, so I'm looking forward to that.
Have you played any of the new stuff? Like I've not really. So you've got is that they've released a bunch of really hard levels, have they?
Yeah, I got stuck on that one. You know the one where you have to climb the wall, and do it really quickly with the
they're the speed challenges ones.
Yeah.
But I think they've released a bunch of like really hard challenges rather than speed ones.
Yeah,
I need to check them out because those are really good. That fucking ultimate one at the end is so good.
Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, as much as I love the game, I just basically haven't gone back after finishing it, and so I missed the Christmas update, the speed challenges, this thing that comes out. It
just wasn't quite as good as Balatro. That was its problem. So yeah, I understand.
It's certainly up there. Certainly up there.
I don't think it is.
Then the next one I had on my list was First Light 007. So this was the first look at Is it IO Interactive? How do you pronounce this?
It's IO Interactive, yeah.
It is IO Interactive.
Or
right?
IOI.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this was
stands for interactive. The second I don't know what the first one stands for.
What's the first I stand for then?
Don't know.
But, yeah,
Okay.
no one knows. So this was the first shot that we had of this where we saw it's a younger James Bond, it seems. He's got like the scar and stuff from...
Well, definitely. He's 26. They confirmed he's 26 years old, so a super young Bond.
Have they figured out who it is yet? Like who the
James Bond, the actor. Okay,
Like
sorry.
Secret agent.
I don't know if it's based on anyone specifically. I know the scar's meant to be
He has loads of sex, mate. He has loads of sex and murders people.
Yeah, he's not a good guy, really. That's
he's a bit of a
the nuance of it.
Yeah, he's a
kind
bit
of a
out of order, isn't he? Bit out of order.
Yeah,
but he does have loads of sex. So
he does.
Who's the loser here? James Bond or Sean Bell?
If I choose to be him, I wouldn't do it.
But he also has great watches. I thought he'd be all over that.
He does wear great watches.
And great sex.
I do it for the Amiga.
Okay. Is it great sex? Do we know if it's great sex?
I don't imagine there's going to be shagging in this game, but it's not true
What
to the
if
source
it is?
material.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Press X to. Yeah, I'm pumped as hell. I mean, it makes total sense. A Bond game made by the Hitman team, even if it is just essentially reskin with it, a bit more action. I'm well up for this. I can't wait.
It does. I do wonder how well that translates into an action game because, you know, Hitman is fucking superb. Like, it really, really is. This is way more action than Hitman is. I hope they nail it. I hope they do. But you know, you forgive a lot with Hitman because of how clunky it can be. It can be a very clunky game, right? But that serves a purpose within
fun,
that. Yeah, that's part of the fun. Yeah. Is that going to, you know? Hopefully they smooth that shit out for the James Bond game. Hopefully they get rid of that stuff because we are ready. It's been a long time since GoldenEye, a long old time. And there's a few that you might go, yeah, this is just as good. I promise you, it wasn't. So hopefully we get a good James Bond game. I don't even like the character that much, to be honest.
Do you not like the movies? I love the movies.
They're all right. Like, they're all right.
Yeah, I love them.
I mean, I thought
the Casino Royale was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought visually I didn't think this looked that amazing. I thought it looked all right, but I didn't.
I thought it looked good. I do think it looked good. I just, you know, you do wonder how. I just hope it plays well. That's the hope there, isn't it?
What I find interesting that I didn't know is that in this Eurogamer piece says that their upcoming games could be the first of a trilogy. It always makes me worry when the first game is now like, yeah, we'll do a trilogy of games about this. I mean, in one way, if that's good, if they're thinking about a larger arc and maybe a bit more like a movie where, like, you know, first one has his own little story, but it's a, you know, I like that idea. I just get a little bit nervous when people say, it's the first of a series. Like, well, hang on, let's get the first one out and see what it's like.
Yeah, it's like, what if they don't get to do the arc? What if it gets cut short?
Yeah.
Because times are not good at the moment.
And they've said also this is not canon, as it were. Like, it's not part of the the film universe stuff.
I didn't think anything. I didn't know there was a Bond canon, to be honest. Certainly not with the films.
Yeah.
Well, they said that the scar on his face is related to the guy.
It's from the books, right? The fella in the books has got a scar on his face.
Yeah. That's why I said the scar's related to. It's like a reference to the old stuff.
Who cares?
I'm excited to help
even
this.
with the films, I don't care if it's canon or not. Like, I'm sorry, Bond guys.
I thought with the films, obviously with the change in actors and stuff, I thought we were to assume. Like, look, there is no one continuity. It's a different guy now. Just deal with it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? That's the thing that everyone says, that actually there are a million James Bonds, and when you see a new character, it's a different James Bond.
Do you remember someone had that? It was on like the Something Awful forums or something. Someone wrote this pitch, like they should do a film where, like, James Bond is sent after some awful terrorist, and they get there, and it's Sean Connery. And it turns out he's like, all the James Bonds were James Bond, and it's just a code name, and he's a baddie now. And
that would be so fucking good.
Yeah.
I'd be on board with that.
Yeah.
It turns up and it's Sean Connery or Pierce Brosnan.
Timothy Dalton.
And he said, there was a bit where I started dating this woman and his ex-husband dressed as a woman, and it all got a bit weird, and he threw a bit of fruit at the pool and it hit the back of my head. Sorry, that was a Mrs. Doubtfire reference. Sorry.
Okay.
So 007 First Light.
Yeah, it looks excellent. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we had more Ghost of Yotei. Just a tiny trailer, wasn't it? They didn't
Are you doing this to upset me on purpose?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Ghost of Yotei? Who?
Well, I know you're doing it now, so there's no teeth in it anymore.
All right, you say that, yourself that, James. Yeah, Sean, the vein in your head says different. So, who played the last Ghost of Tsushima?
Me and Sean did.
Tsushima.
The last Ghost of Toshiba. Who played it?
Any more Japanese? I assume we have loads of Japanese listeners. Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima. What you gonna do? Who completed that game? I know you did, James.
I did.
I did as well.
Oh, okay. So are you like well up for a sequel then?
Weirdly, yes. I didn't like the story of the first game, but I did just fucking enjoy it overall. Yeah.
It was, it's a very quality game. Then we finished.
I think I should probably jump on. I started Ghost of Tsushima and Tsushima.
Yeah, look at James rubbing his forehead. Like, you've been saying Yotei for the last fucking 3 months.
What is it again? What's the real
Yotei.
Yotei. So I'm looking forward to Ghost of Yotei, but I don't know if I don't know if I should have played that first game. Hopefully, it's like
I don't think it'll make a difference.
It's set. I think it's set in a different time period and stuff. So it's
brilliant. Then I will give it a go.
And then the whole thing finished on quite a long section on a Marvel fighting game, which is Tokon. Is it Tokon Fighting Souls? Yeah, which was like it's a basically it's a 4-player tag team fighting game with Marvel characters.
Is it 4 players?
No, as in you can like tag team.
You can do 2v2. Yeah,
it's 2v2. Yeah. I thought it looked all right, but
it's beautiful. Look, I'm not a fighting game fan, but it is a beautiful video game. It looks incredible. Like some of the artwork, some of the animation.
Yeah, the animation looks amazing. Yeah.
Holy shit, it looks brilliant. So like, hopefully this is a good one of those. I know that I won't get into it because I've never really got into a beat 'em up on the level that you need to. It's 4v4 actually.
Interesting because obviously this feels like it's taken a lot from Marvel versus Capcom, which as a series was relatively accessible, but this is by Arc System Works, who did like Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue and stuff, and they're really technical fighting games. So,
but
was Blaze Blue the one that was like celebrated for their introduction to like they had a really good tutorial in?
No, I think you're thinking of Skullgirls. That was the one.
That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Skullgirls. Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, they've also done like all of like the anime tie-in stuff, like Bleach and all that kind of stuff, which was really more simplified, as from what I can remember. So it's you'll see how this pans out. But
a sort of a weird one to end on. You would usually expect Sony to finish on Ghost of Yotei, but I mean, okay, so they ended it on a brand new game. I'm not against that. I think that's a cooler idea anyway. Just wasn't my sort of cup of tea. That was the only downside to it. But overall, some really, really good shows, really good games on show, a really good showing. Nothing that convinces me that Sony first party is back on track. But plenty there to be excited for in the near future on PlayStation.
Yeah. One other thing I want to mention, or two things. I think as Ben just mentioned in the chat, the fight stick they announced looks gorgeous. I mean, I'm never going to buy it because I'm not in fighting games, but I just love the way that fighting stick looks. It looks awesome. Another game that I really like called Tides of Tomorrow, where it's like you're in a flooded city. It's all like incredibly bright. Colours, I thought that looked really, really interesting. First person, flooded dystopian world, that's all you need to know. Yeah, out in February. Looks really, really nice.
Okay, so we had the State of Play, and then on Friday last week, we had Summer Game Fest, which...
Boy, did we.
Yeah, which went on for about how long? Like, it was like about 2 hours? Was it
yeah, 2 hours, yeah.
It was 2 hours. I mean, I've got written down here, I've got 5 games written down out of that 2 hours. That I thought that I was kind of interested in. I mean, there was Resident Evil 9, obviously was officially revealed, and it was quite funny the way they did that, because they did the first of all, they had like talking to Capcom and that whole sort of like, we just need a little more time.
We're not going to just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when they were in the office. I'm like, oh my god, we're going to get a trailer. This is unbelievable. They mentioned about the anniversary. I was like, okay, we're going to get, and then for them just to say, yeah, please bear with us. You'll see more very soon. It's like, what? Why are you doing this to us? But it was obviously perfectly set up for them to end the show with the trailer for Resident Evil Requiem, which is the 9th mainline Resident Evil game.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get a huge amount from the trailer. I mean, when we were watching it, we were first of all, it was like, is this like a Remedy game? Then it became pretty obvious that it was Capcom, and I mean, what is there to say about this apart from it looks pretty impressive, and it's coming out next year. It's
out on February 27 next year. I mean, I'm really excited for this. It just looks, a bit more. Well, it looks more grounded. They've obviously focused a lot on like the PlayStation, and I think we might see like the mansion and other parts of the city kind of blown up. So very excited to see where they go with this. I mean, I didn't play 7. That was far too scary for me. I didn't. Village was good, but I'm really interested to see what it is. So I'm just glad they've finally shown it off, and we know when it's coming. So yeah, this is one of the biggest announcements of the whole weekend for me, just to finally see some Resident Evil. Big.
And then, I mean, the next thing that really interests me was Stranger Than Heaven, which is the it's the Yakuza team's next.
Oh yeah. This looked really
game.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, it's set. I think it's set in like sort of. I think it's like immediate post-war, like Japan.
I think it was still mid-war. I think wasn't it 1943? I think it's
maybe it was. I think actually maybe it was a bit earlier. You're probably right. And I mean, it looks very interesting, particularly because it doesn't appear like there's any existing characters, as it were, from the series there. I think it's quite cool if there's.
They'll be in it.
Yeah, if it's going to be much.
They'll be there.
Maybe we'll see.
There'll
so
be a bit where it'll be on the
apparently
beach.
one trailer was set in 1915 and the other one was in 1943.
So maybe this spans time, which could be quite good. I've always wanted them to do something like this, particularly in the post-war period. I think would be really interesting. Mostly because it's like the rebuild of the country, the uneasy, the fact that there's been the atomic bombs. Then you've also got trying to as I said, rebuild, but also the Americans there, and it could be quite. Yeah, I'm really excited for this, actually. I think it's interesting they're maybe going in a slightly different direction to the more sort of silly stuff that they've done recently.
They won't. They'll drag it back. Don't worry about that. No, they'll drag it back.
What I think was interesting is that it just said coming to PC and consoles. So I'm thinking it could be 3 years away, whereby it could be a PS6 and Xbox Series, whatever.
I don't know.
No.
It'll be sooner.
Why would they not have said
they push
PS5
things out pretty quickly?
They chuck a new game out every other week, don't they?
In games where they've already reused the location.
I know, but the location.
They've gone back to
the location here looked the same. It was Osaka, and it was you can see similarities in the architecture and everything from the other games. So I don't know.
They copied and pasted it.
Yeah.
Matt.
I look at this thing. They've
Updated the textures.
I think if that was the case, they would have said these consoles this year. As it stands, it's
it won't
coming
be this
out.
year. It'll be next year.
No, exactly. I'm saying if it was just literally reused, same engine, all this kind of stuff, I think we would have a bit more concrete information about the consoles and the year. We don't. I think this would be maybe a bit more of a remake or a redo or more work rather than just using previous locations. And I think that's why we don't know the consoles. Why wouldn't they have said
sat in a room,
PS5 and Xbox Series?
How far can we go back in time where these buildings still exist? That's what they did. That's what they do.
But why wouldn't they have just mentioned the PS5 and Xbox Series then? That's what I think could be a next gen thing.
But maybe because, off the top of my head, maybe they're trying to get it to run well on a Switch too, and they don't want to announce that.
Because they're already releasing Zero director's cuts come out with that, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably release the whole series, all of them on there eventually. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. There was also that Death Stranding 2.
Matt looks so defeated.
I'm just thinking, if they were working about Switch 2, then they would have just not put a Switch on there. If it's come out for current consoles, why would they not have put the current consoles on there? Forgetting Switch 2.
Well, because if they haven't got it working on Switch 2 yet, they don't want to announce Xbox and PlayStation if it's also coming to the Switch 2. If they get to work, they'll want to announce that all at one time.
Possibly.
So what's your theory? Your theory is just that it's. Why would it matter if it's you think this is 3 years off?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Okay.
No.
I just don't think.
Do you want to take a bet on that, James?
I would take a bet on that, Matt.
James will win.
Here we go. When's it got to come out by? Here we go.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, you're not doing it?
No, because it's probably will come out with current consoles as well. I just think it's a little bit weird.
That backfired, doesn't it, Matt?
That's what plan along, actually, mate.
We also had a weird Death Stranding 2 trailer, which went on for ages and was not a great advertisement.
It's a standard thing where it's yet another trailer, introducing another couple of characters. Don't care, I'm excited for the game, move on.
It was a cutscene.
It was. Then, then the next thing that kind of interested me was that, the Atomic Heart 2 stuff and all that, I thought, because it just looked incredible, but then we all know that apparently the original game wasn't great. And
not apparently, I fucking played it. It was shite.
Apparently, yeah, it wasn't very good. I played. Well, I only put about an hour into it,
and the first game looked incredible, but it was just miserable to play. I thought, and also may or may not be Russian propaganda, but we had a good discussion about that at the time.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, we did mention that at the time. For a demo, it looked fucking brilliant. Whether it comes out in that state, I don't know. But it's
exactly as Sony Atomic Heart, didn't it? That looked really impressive when it was first shown.
It did look really impressive, but there was loads of really gross male gaze shit in the trailer as well. I got proper fucking incel vibes off this.
Yeah, there was a lot of that stuff in this for sure. Felt like a Kojima game. Come at me.
I think the other project called The Cube is in the same universe. Looked interesting. Yeah. Again, just visually, the idea.
Philip Schofield game show.
Very, yeah. No,
Oh, this is it. No, this was yes, that's right. They did this It was an online multiplayer game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's set on a cube in the sky or whatever that's constantly rotating. It sounds like a concept for a game that would make up for a TCGS E3 show. I mean, that would definitely be the one that if we were doing those shows still, I'd go, that's the fake one. But okay.
And then, I mean, the other thing that caught my interest was the Lego Voyagers. It's more because it's similar to the was it Lego Journey like last time?
Builder's Journey, yeah.
Builder's Journey, that was it, yeah. And that was great. And this is like a 2-player co-op version of this, it seems. And I thought it looked brilliant. I'm really looking forward to that because
I'm intrigued because there was this and there was the. I mean, it's a bit shocking they're literally calling it Lego Party, but there's a Lego Mario Party game also being made, and I just think it's interesting because for years basically all the Lego games were made by TT Games and they were all kind of this same mold, and it was it was a good a good system,
it was a good template that they had going there.
Yeah. But then in recent years Lego have sort of made a point of, I think when initially they were planning to start doing more stuff in-house, and then they sort of went, actually no, but we're going to do more licensing and get other devs involved, and I feel like that is starting to pay off. So yeah,
but no, I thought this looked
Lego
good.
Games.
And then the only other thing that I thought looked interesting was that game that was called Ill, which looked horrific.
Oh, this was horrible.
Yeah, it looked like exactly the sort of game I'd like to stream or something like that. It says here like on IGN, it's a body horror gameplay, which looked really interesting to me. But
absolutely gross.
It does look disgusting, but also
I mean,
good.
and that is the point. Obviously, I'm not having a go, but not fucking vile.
James, have you watched The Substance?
No, I've not
movie?
seen that.
That's great body horror.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks way too much for me, but like visually, it looked really, really impressive. I mean, a bit too much, but yeah.
Now we should say, and this isn't a dig, James, the amount of games James has skipped.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it was a terrible show. It went on. And I think, look, I got a theory about Summer Game Fest. I think we will see a scaled down version of it within the next 2 to 3 years, where I think Microsoft and Sony are going to try and get as many games in their show around this period as possible, meaning that Summer Game Fest is picking up the pieces.
Because I feel like everyone's take from this year has been, thank God everyone else actually curated their shows, whereas Summer Games Fest just feels like Keighley just taking as much money as he can to show as many trailers as he can.
Sure. No, sorry. What I don't mean, I don't mean Microsoft and Sony are trying to get as many shows into theirs as possible. Sorry, I misspoke there. What I mean is that they're actually going to want as high quality games to show off in their presentation as possible. And I wonder, I do wonder what they charge compared to Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
I don't think Microsoft were charging $250,000 to an indie dev to get.
No.
I think it's just like, we want your trailer in our showcase because it sells the console, sells Game Pass.
It's selling their stuff, isn't it? Which is why they presumably want the stuff.
Unless they've had to create something unique, bespoke for it, I don't think it'll be that kind of money. I think that's why Summer Game Fest suffered so bad, because they're never going to have any big first party titles. Obviously, it's all third party, and they tried to get so many in there. Like there's a massive anime section. I mean, the way James has laid this out. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of Souls-likes. I guess that's natural. We're 2 or 3 years away from Elden Ring. Yeah, lots of people will obviously go try and do that or add their identity to a Souls-like type of game. But I think James actually made the pacing of this show sound a lot better than it actually was. It just went on, too long and just not a lot of hits. I mean, I had lots of games that look fine and good. I mean, like Sean, you were so excited about the oh my God, Scott Pilgrim game that was announced here.
Yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, there's going to be a new Scott Pilgrim game, and what's nice is, for starters, Brian Lee O'Malley, who wrote the comics, he's involved. Anna Managuchi on soundtrack duties again, and it's made by Tribute. So the first Scott Pilgrim game was made by Ubisoft, but the team that made it left and formed Tribute. So the game has followed them rather than staying with Ubisoft, if you get me. And I fucking love the first one, so yeah, I am excited about this.
There's also a new Dying Light game. I know people who really like that series, so that was pretty exciting for them. Dying Light the Beast. So, I mean, not my cup of tea at all, but I knew enough people that love that series to sort of pass on that information when it came up at Summer Game Fest, for sure.
Yeah, but there was an awful lot of like especially once we'd been watching for about an hour of kind of like, have we seen this game before? Because it's
the thing, isn't it? And it's unfair to the games because they might be good. But when they were just just being reeled off in the way that they were, and yes, a number of them started to bleed into each other, and just left you with this feeling of like, God, were there like 5 or 6 just really grey Souls-likes, and then about another 4 sort of anime-style action games, and I don't know, it just all just started to blur into one another.
Yeah.
I thought that, just looking at this now, I think that the social deduction game from Square Enix called Kill It In looked like it could be really, really interesting. We're like,
that
it's
was
like a
weird, wasn't it?
Was
I couldn't get my head around, because first they were like, it's a murder mystery, and then it looked like a deathmatch and everyone had machine guns and stuff, and I didn't really follow how
I don't know
worked.
what it was aiming for. It didn't really work for me, that trailer. It was more confusing than anything else.
murder mystery action, they're calling it. It's a whole new genre. And then, of course, I mean, we'd by that point been playing Mario Kart World, but there was Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which very much looked like, this is like an old racing game, isn't it? Compared to maybe
I missed this. Maybe I tuned out for a second, but Lego Voyagers, did you mention that?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Sorry, yeah. Oh my God, that is probably my newly announced highlight of the show, I think.
But I'm a defender of Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. I think that's a really good racing game. But showing this on the week that Mario Kart World came out, bit of a misstep, I would say. Looked fine, but
it looked old, didn't it already?
It looked a bit old.
But it's got some Like a Dragon characters, James. So I'm sure you'll be. It's got them and Sonic, so surely you'll be all over this, James.
All the greats.
I'm good. I'm all right.
Okay. It's got Steve from Minecraft.
Yeah, that was odd.
Okay. Yeah.
Chicken Jockey.
Famous Sega game.
Okay, so that was Summer Game Fest, which I thought was not very good. I mean,
and to be clear, if you're listening to this and then you go and watch it and you're like, oh no, there was like a few other games I thought were cool and you didn't mention them. Yeah, it just, as I say, it was
2 hours long
to watch.
It was. Lucy James was great. She did the hosting. The hosting was good. But it's just, I still think
I cannot
2 hours
imagine,
is too long.
and maybe I'm wrong, but I cannot imagine how nervous she must have been. And
oh my God, in front of the world's media, and she didn't slip up a single word. She was great.
That is the that is the biggest win, isn't it? When you have to be nervous. Yeah, it didn't even look it. No. Didn't even know not a hint of it. It was absolutely fine.
I mean, to Jeff's credit as well, though, he has scaled back all the the promotional stuff as well.
Yes, there was way less by Doritos. It was
we didn't see The Rock once advertising his gymwear, whatever it was.
Oh God, that was so weird. Yeah,
what was it? Was it Baywatch then? I don't know.
No idea.
Black Adam.
I mean, I guess he doesn't have to if he's charging like $250,000 for like a minute long advert and things like that. So
yeah, Pringles ain't paying that, are they? Yeah. No chance.
Oh, okay. Do we? Sorry, it's just come up in the chat. Do we need to talk about the guy with the Margot hat?
That was just embarrassing.
I think he just thought he was being funny, and he wasn't.
Everyone was ripping into shreds online. It was very funny.
He got absolutely slaughtered for it.
So it was not a political thing.
And then he went. Sorry. So to anyone who's not seen it, the guy came out to talk about Splitgate 2, which has already been quite poorly received, as far as I'm aware. And he had this black baseball cap that said "Make FPSs great again," which I was like, "What's wrong with FPSs? They're not in."
I hate fucking internet pylons.
But then his speech was like, "Games are all shit now. We want to make a cool one." And it was, I don't know, it just felt really juvenile, the whole thing.
I'm still not sure why
it was wildly misjudged or whatever, but, people just ripping into the guy. Maybe he just got the tone wrong.
I mean, he probably just thought the hat was funny and it wasn't an indication of any political leanings. But I think anyone with a bit of sense would have thought better of it.
Well, it's also because he played it like completely straight as well. And if he'd have done it in a jokey way, it might have come off better. But he didn't. I mean, he walked off with a baseball bat. Like I don't know what that was about.
All right, James.
It's one of the guns on the game,
more
wasn't it?
your age. I mean, he walked off with a baseball bat. These silly children.
No, he just looked like
up
a
on the
fucking
stage
idiot.
with their hats.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
no.
a rifle from the game, I think. But
Ben in
maybe
the chat
wasn't.
has apparently doubled down on Twitter, so cool.
Oh well, okay. Oh, well, that's not good, is it? Okay.
Okay, so next we had Day of the Devs, which I mean I didn't watch
Thank
this
God.
with you guys, but I mean I watched it the other today actually.
Not thank God that you didn't watch it. Just thank God that this came afterwards because I needed it.
Yeah,
It's a nice little palate cleanser.
There was a lot of really good stuff. I mean, I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got about 5 games on here that I thought looked really interesting. The first one I really liked was Big Walk. I thought, that
We've seen this before, right?
We have, yeah.
Big Walk. Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is by it's House, so it's the Untitled Goose Game people.
That's
and it's,
right. Yeah, we saw it recently, didn't we? Yeah, I've not seen the new trailer. Is it any good?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it's
fantastic.
just as
They-
good as it was.
So good.
They went through the whole thing of how it's like it's this big sort of open area where you sort of you explore together, you do like puzzles and stuff together, and just it's like a co-op like walk that you're going on, and it's like like all the audio is like depending on how far away you are.
Yeah,
from
proximity
people
audio
and all that. It sounds really good. I sent a message to Sean where I was like, this is like a TCGS stream, like this should be, because it'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's only PC and Mac at the moment, which is annoying.
Shame.
But
Right.
Oh, well, I've got Mac.
It might change for next year.
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably release this on console as well. But I thought this looked really interesting.
Yeah, this is.
Well, we can all play it. Hold on, we can all play it then.
Yes,
So we've
I've got
got
Mac as well.
decent Macs, and
That's true,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Matt's got about 7 PCs rolled into one.
Possibly, yeah. 2 things. This is the cover story in this month's Edge magazine, so I might be interested to read that. And also, I love the difference between like the kind of photorealistic graphics of like the environment, and then your characters being like flat 2D, like 2-color characters. I love that. And,
like in screenshots, that they just look like the characters have just been drawn on a photograph.
Yeah,
almost.
photoshopped in or something. Yeah. So I'm really excited for this.
Yep, same.
So the next thing I had on my list was mixtape, because again that looks great. When did we also we talked about this recently though, right?
Well, because we talked about it in the WhatsApp group, didn't we? Because I think I said on the stream, but like after being disappointed with Life is Strange, and then you guys were disappointed with Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, I was like, I'm just going to look at the mix, because I remember at the time the mixtape trailer when they first showed it, in my head sort of bled in with Lost Records. So what?
Really?
But watching it again, I was like, oh no, holy shit, this looks great. And
I remember us being like insanely excited for it when they first showed it off last year. Mainly because it was, I think we called that it was the Artful. We said that it looks like the Artful Escape, and that was. I'm sorry, that is such an underrated game. Like that is
100%.
The Artful Escape is genuinely brilliant from tone to feeling of play. I mean, it wasn't much of a game. Like
Visuals.
I mean, that's always that caveat.
But don't let that put you off.
Visually,
It's an
incredibly-
experience, but a fantastic one.
It won some BAFTAs, didn't it, or something? I think.
Yeah, it won a
Yeah,
BAFTA. It was such a fucking wicked game. So that I was always going to be interested to see what they come out with next. I didn't expect this, and I'm very excited for it. Mixtape looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think last year it must have been shown on the Xbox stage rather than Day of the Devs, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We must have all talked over it. So
because it's coming to Game Pass, but then because I thought this was an only like PC and Game Pass game, but it turns out
looks
it's
awesome.
The next, now I'm going to skip over a couple of things here because they're not really, they don't appeal to me particularly, but we probably go back to them because I did like the look of Please Watch the Artwork. I thought that looked interesting.
That was very strange.
And you played the first one, haven't you, Sean?
I played I played the first one, and then I watched Isaac play the second one. So there's Please Touch the Artwork 1 and 2. Please Touch the Artwork 1 is quite a sort of relatively straight puzzle game in that it's you're messing with pieces of artwork, but it's like a puzzle game sort of. I'm trying to remember how it works now. But you sort of there's blocks of colours and you're sort of batching things up and moving stuff around and stuff. Whereas Don't Touch the Artwork 2 is like, here are a load of famous paintings and you're kind of moving through them like it's a point and click adventure, and it's really nicely done. And then this was really weird. This was like it's almost like you're a security guard, and you can look at all these famous paintings, and you're looking for stuff that's wrong in them.
Yes, I spot a difference. I say here, psychological spot a difference game, which
and but it looked super interesting. Like when you call things out, it was like messing with them, and it looked really interesting. And I really like the fact that like there was clearly a bit of a creepy tone to it.
Yeah.
But the dev was just like, by the way, there's no jump scares. Like it's not supposed to be scary. It's just it feels a bit voyeuristic.
Yeah, they say it's horror adjacent, but jump scare free, which appreciate the warning up front.
I think it's just supposed to be sort of like unsettling. I think was the thing, which is
well, they nailed that.
Yeah, totally
interesting.
Even the intro, like the guy was doing like ASMR introductions to it. Even that was like a bit unnerving.
Yep.
Then, I mean, Marvel Cosmic Invasion I'm looking forward to, because this is another, this is a 2D scrolling beat 'em up.
This is another tribute one, so this is, as I was saying about Scott Pilgrim. So it's a roaming brawler.
I mean, this I'll play with Asher, because he loves all of these characters, and he loves scrolling beat 'em ups as well, which has been pretty cool to discover. That's been good. Then the next, what else? Relooted, I thought looked fantastic.
Yeah,
I thought it
really
looked
cool.
Yeah, really good.
It's definitely part of the meta this year of heist games. So this is
what heist game talking about?
Yeah, this is a heist game where you basically go into these museums which have artifacts which have origins in other countries. So essentially, it's you going in, nicking the artifacts and bringing them back to the original country, I believe. But
what was interesting, because the whole thing is that obviously these are not real museums that you're like looting, but the artifacts inside are real.
Yes.
And they're ones which are the stuff that was taken during the colonial period and other times, and and you're basically looting them back to take them back where they belong. Is the whole
very
thing.
anti-British.
It'll give you a bit of history about the artifact and when it was taken and how, and it's usually pretty grim stories.
It's awful.
Yeah, very anti-British. So it's anti-British propaganda. 1 out of 10 from me.
I think we deserve it. On this
No, I don't think we do actually, because we're a proud nation.
But
it's not great to see a game where, it looks like good fun. It's like sort of meticulously sort of planning this heist, because as soon as you take the artifact, all the alarms are going to go off, and then you've got to seamlessly get out of there. But also this looks like a cool game, and I'm going to be educated by it as well. It's really nice.
Because they explained there's 3 stages to each part, where it's the first thing is casing out the building, then the second part is organizing, working out your escape and how you're going to get out once you've got the artifact, and then the final part is obviously getting it and trying to get out. It's
interesting. God save the Queen next game.
Then
she's
the next
dead,
one,
actually, isn't she?
Yeah, the king.
Is,
that's embarrassing. Turns out
not
lots
as
of
you
them
as I thought.
Oh, caught you.
The next one I look off
drawing
was
board for me.
Toem 2. I'm looking forward to that, because that looked good, and I enjoyed the first one a lot. I thought it was very good. But this is in more 3D this time, isn't it? Rather than being.
I will say, it did kind of look like just more of the same. But then I love the first one so much that I was gutted when it ended. So fine.
Yeah, but they said this has got climbing and different perspective stuff, right? And they said it's more verticality, I think, than the previous one, which was really good.
The developer made a big point out of just kept on saying sort of this is the same, but we're just doing a lot of refining and to sort of make stuff like the camera works more quickly and things like that. And I mean those are the main games that piqued my interest. But almost certainly go through. There'll be loads that were not my kind of thing, but you may dig.
I'm intrigued by.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Dig into yourself,
grew up in the 70s, Dave.
Yeah, I forgot. I keep forgetting.
80s. 80s, actually, but yeah.
He may dig it, honey bear.
Possessors. This is the sort of Metroidvania-looking one from Heart Machine, makers of Hyper Light Drifter.
Thought it looked really mid, actually. I didn't want to
that.
Obviously,
I said that once in a text, so up yours.
Once too many, Matt.
Hyperlight Breaker is in early access at the moment, and it's definitely had a bad time. I don't know if it's still having a bad time, but it was just a bit worrying because I really like the studio. But yeah, this looks really interesting. There is a demo of it which I'm going to play, and I'll talk about it next week. What else? Look,
Escape Academy 2?
Yeah, Escape Academy 2. I'll definitely play it. I need to finish the first one.
Make it 4-player. That's what I want.
Why fuck that game?
That for me, I looked at that. I was like, this looks like my worst nightmare. Like, I would absolutely hate this game.
Puzzles, isn't it? Puzzles with friends.
Just continuous puzzles. I'm just like, I can't do this. Hate the visual style as well.
Ratatan, which is the the sort of reincarnation of Patapon, which looks really good fun. Love the art style. Again, there is a demo of that. I'll play it for next week. Consume Me, the one about food and diet and exercise. I thought this presentation was really funny.
Like were they husband and wife or partners or?
I wasn't sure.
But they were just really honest and say, look, this is and my life at school was rubbish. I was doing this. Yeah. If you want to try and be popular like I try to be popular at school, and this is a way to do it.
It's Jenny who's making it. She's like, it's like this is fully autobiographical, and it sounds like she's really put a lot of herself into it. And it looks super interesting. Yeah. And she was just really funny. It all looked good. There was other stuff we haven't gone through because we haven't got time. But I just thought this, like, I always enjoy Devs anyway, but I just thought it was just really enjoyable. And
Devs is always good, and especially it's actually a good thing now coming after Summer Game Fest because it really kind of puts that into stark perspective. But it's always good. And I know we've already talked about a few, but if you listen to this, there are absolutely loads of other games to look at in there that you might like. I'm sad we didn't see the house romance game where you're playing like bungalows and I'm ashamed we didn't see that. But and also didn't see Skate Story, but that's a Devolver thing which we'll come to later maybe. But another great day to Devs as always.
I mean, should we briefly talk about Devolver because it won't take long?
Yeah, just focus on one game. So last year, when it's often like Sean and I talking over that, and last year, as opposed to previous years, they only had like 3 to 5 games. And I was like, wow, they really are kind of cutting down their slate of games they show in these Devolver Directs. And this year, the whole Direct was based on one game, which is Ball X Pit. Ball times Pit.
I think we're just calling it Ball Pit, but
Ball
it's
Pit,
styled Ball X Pit. Which seemed kind of insane, right? To do one of these shows and do it entirely on one game, because it's not like they've slowed down in terms of how many games they're putting out. Like they've got other stuff on on the slate, but they chose to entirely focus on this. I have played the demo, and I've got to say, I get it. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. This feels like another Vampire Survivors / Balatro, one of those. It's really fucking good. Like I was annoyed when the demo ended. It's for those who haven't seen it. It's kind of like a block breaker, right? It's Arkanoid or whatever. But the blocks are enemies that are coming down at you, and you're a character running around and you're sort of shooting these balls. And then as you're leveling up, you're unlocking different types of balls with different effects. And then once they reach certain levels, you can then fuse them and combine them to get new abilities. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely wonderful. I think it's going to be huge, and it's coming to consoles and everything as well. So Ball Pit.
I watched your talks over for this, and it's like as soon as they said the word roguelike, and then Sean, you were like, "Oh, James is out," and I was like, "Yeah," I looked at it.
I do think you probably get on with this, and you sort of. And it's there are like levels to work through, but it is still run based. So like level 1 will take you 10, 20 runs before you actually nail it. But for every run, you're earning materials, and then you go back to your town, and then you build it. And like you have this little map of your town. You're placing different resources and stuff, and then that is also like you sort of aim your guys and then shoot them off, and they sort of ping around, and that's how they collect resources and build things.
So it's the same kind of it's the same method of like Super Breakout, whatever it is, which I thought was really clever and in a nice way to tie it together.
Yep, it's really smart, and the presentation was funny as well. It was really good.
Yeah, the presentation
was interesting because they made fun of, and they couldn't have known this was going to happen, but. At Summer Game Fest, there was this weird recurring thing of like this game was made by 20 people and whatever. And on this Devolver one, the dev, or was it the actual dev, or was it just a guy playing the dev? I wasn't entirely clear.
I don't know.
Not sure.
Yeah. Anyway, he's like, so I'm a solo developer, and then it cuts this room with like 4 other people, and they're like,
oh yeah,
what?
There's been a lot of speculation online about that, like with people, like how, because as you said, like at Summer Game Fest, like Jeff Keighley kept on saying like, oh, it's such a small team making this and everything, and it's like, well, it's not, because there's also all the contractors and everything working on it.
Didn't you say Cloud Skill was made by like less than 30 people?
Yeah, which is not true.
Dude, that's not even remotely true.
I googled Skate Story after you mentioned it because I'd completely forgotten about that game. Holy shit! That trailer, that game is very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, because they did release a new trailer in March, so it's not like they've gone quiet. But just I thought we would see it on that.
It's just supposed to be out this year, but I don't think
that's what Steam says. Yeah, just back to Day of the Devs, or maybe it's Summer Game Fest, but the Thick as Thieves trailer, where it's like multiplayer Dishonored, where you're all trying to go against the same kind of target. It looked really interesting. I don't know how it's really going to work, because as you and I were talking, Sean, like how's this really going to, multiplayer, everyone going after different objectives, but you're all kind of meant to be stealthy. I don't know how it works, but it's like a multiplayer immersive sim from Warren Spector called Thick as Thieves. It looks really interesting.
I looked at this and thought, because I like his games a lot. Like I've played most of them at some point in my life, and I've always enjoyed his stuff. But then it's like, the multiplayer aspect kind of trips me up with that, because like Deathloop, they did that kind of stuff as well, and it was really irritating. It was, I mean, they were obviously, one of the developers was like saying like, oh, it's so good that you're like, you're trying to trick like another human and everything, and it's like, I don't know if that's
like, that does sound good, but it doesn't sound good, being tricked by another person.
If they get a tone right, and it does, and you are kind of worried about seeing other players or maybe learning from them or trying to do your own thing, it could be excellent. It certainly got all the ingredients, but it felt a bit too manic just from my own perception of it.
I think I just struggle with the idea of meticulously pulling off a heist only for for it to turn out someone was watching me the whole time and waiting for me to turn my back and then stab me and run off with this stuff. Maybe it doesn't work out like that. I don't know. From what they showed, it looked like there were measures, like you can run away and then put up barriers and stuff, and there are ways to lose people who are coming after you. But I don't know. It just looks like it would stress me out, to be honest.
Sean looks like a man that's played a lot of Sea of Thieves. He's been screwed over too many times. Okay, was that it for Day of the Devs?
Yeah,
we should definitely move on. Oh, that was Devolver, wasn't it? Sorry, Yep.
So then there was like kind of the main event kind of thing, which was the Xbox showcase on Sunday.
I thought they would show some good games. I didn't think it would be as good as it was. I was annoyed that I couldn't watch it on the Talksover. I wanted to watch it on the Talksover. The kids were still up and they were being a nightmare. So we sat and watched it together over dinner from start to finish, and there was relentlessly good stuff shown off from the start, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, it kicked off with The Outer Worlds 2, which that's coming out 29th of October. Looking forward to that. I mean, the first one was great, and I thought
I'm going to try again with the first one.
You should. It had a lot of character to it, and it was the kind of character that was completely missing from Starfield. What made it kind of interesting.
It had a really poor bit in the final third, didn't it? And I never quite got through that. That was when you went. There's this particular planet you went to, and it was just all combat rather than like a lot of it was like conversation stuff leading up to that, and then there was a big bit where it was all combat, and it was like, well, this just isn't much fun anymore. Like, the pacing was slightly off, but other than that, it was really good.
And it was, because it came out quite quickly, I think, as well. Like I think it was the development time on it, I think, was quite short.
It wasn't that long.
And but it was great. It was really good. Then we had High on Life 2, which, I mean, David, you mentioned you thought this looked great.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, this was a pre-render.
Great. It was a pre-render trailer. I think we'll see what it looks like. I think I'm more hopeful that it seems to have cut out all of the while you're playing it.
Well, I was going to say,
I enjoyed that game.
Because obviously Justin Roiland's not involved now, which I think, I think it will probably.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Benefit from that, yeah. I thought the first game had some really cool ideas actually, and it executed a lot of them pretty well. I think it got a little bit stale about 2/3 of the way in, and started to lose its charm, and actually it become a bit of a frustrating first-person shooter after a while. again, pre-rendered trailer, you don't get much from it, but it does seem to be addressing the issues that I had with the first game. Less screaming at you while you're playing it, less clunky. Like there seems to be a new, what is it, you're on like a skateboard or something now, so hopefully that helps some of the traversal of that game. So we'll see. Hopefully, I still think High on Life has a good concept. I love the fact that they've got weapons that talk to you throughout. I just think it's a really funny idea. Parts of it was executed well in the first game, and parts of it weren't. So I hope it's learnt its lessons, and we actually see a really good sequel to a mid-game map.
Yeah. Don't use that language, so it's fine. Use it once, so it's fine, guys. Used it once.
Okay, next.
Then we had Resonance of Plague Tale, which I
was so sure this was Rise 2 when the trailer first.
That's what we said when we were watching it. Is this Rise? Yeah, it's like
Well, I was laughing because I watched this and there's sort of not necessarily supernatural elements to it, but I was a bit like I know I haven't played the first two. I thought the first two were like more or less historically accurate. And I mentioned this I mentioned this in a WhatsApp group, and a friend of the show, Tammy Toman, was like, "Don't you like psychically control the rats?"
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay."
It turns out
historically
accurate.
But yeah, no, this intrigued to see like if or how this links to the other ones, or if it's just a Soho studio just making similar. Yeah,
because this is like name of the game : A Plague Tale Legacy, isn't it? So maybe maybe it's a smaller game with a kind of with a defined story. Maybe we'll get a bunch of these. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I do admit I love the first one. Didn't play the second one because it was busy. I was busy. So I'm sure this is as good as the first couple. Be all over it.
Then we had this weird reveal. Well, not a weird reveal because we all knew it was coming. And this is the thing. This wasn't really a reveal because we already knew it existed, which was this whole thing with the ROG Xbox Ally.
Oh yeah.
And how you had
because
Phil came out with this and was like, this is a Xbox handheld.
It still annoys me because I was 6 months. I was 6 months out. I was 6 months out. I literally predicted a Xbox handheld that was made by someone else, and I'm absolutely gutted that I was slightly out. But I don't know where I sit with this. I don't know where I sit with this thing. It's what I want, but the way that it's being presented means that it's probably going to be way more expensive than I want it to be.
How much are they? Those.
Isn't the nearest equivalent ROG Ally is like 800 quid or something?
Fucking hell.
Really?
Yeah, I was people suspecting that there's a ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X, and in like the Linus Tech Tips videos I've seen and some other stuff, they're like, really you want the X, it's got the extra RAM, it's got this and got that. But yeah, people are expecting that could be as much as $1,000. Obviously, again, nothing confirmed right now.
Well, no, see,
this is not really a mainstream play.
See, I don't know enough about this thing, but I was thinking $499. Maybe $699. That seems right to me. But for me, I kind of just think no. What I want you to do is a cloud handheld device and one that connects. I want a Portal, but for Xbox. That's what I want for around 200 quid because I would buy that instantly.
That's the thing, because this is going to do that, but then obviously it has like local games as well. It's got all the extra
shit that... it runs games natively. Yeah, but it won't run them well. Yeah. Unless I'm wrong, and it runs them like...
It might. I mean, again, I think maybe because the X has this brand new like Zen 2 chip, which is going to be insanely fast. So performance I wasn't worried about. I mean, price is not going to be like a... It's not like the Portal, but it's not doing Portal things. You can also play kind of Battle.net games on this. You can play GOG games on this, Steam games on this. They allow you to install the other OSs. I'm not sure if it's online in the video I saw, but like they've already made like drastic changes or improvements to Windows Handheld Edition. I think that they've reduced system resources, all the kind of standard Windows.
But it's still really far behind Steam, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But in this release for this ROG or Asus ROG have worked with Xbox, and they've already reduced system resources by like 65%. So they're clearly trying to make huge changes to make Windows handheld mode, or whatever it's called, a much more lean and much more basically aligned with what SteamOS does, which is super snappy, great performance because it's reducing system resources. So they're making a start. It's a shame that it's going to come on a really, really expensive, relatively so, handheld compared to maybe a Switch or Portal, but it's good they're starting. I mean, I want the proper Xbox Microsoft made handheld to come out, and I don't really want to spend 800 quid or $1,000 either, but
that's why
it's a start.
Because I'd just be thinking, this is like basically the beta, isn't it? Like of all of this. Of
yeah,
like
it's the first one, isn't it? First one out.
And it's probably not going to be what it eventually
didn't stop you getting a fucking Portal, though, did it?
Yeah, that's great. It's not very expensive and very good.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the price, that's not impulse buy territory, but it's a lot easier to swallow than potentially something 4 times.
I think the weirdest thing about all this is that alongside it, they announced a launch game for it, and it was Silksong.
Yeah, that was weird.
So why have you tied it to this?
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
They didn't give a release date, but they said it will launch with Hollow Knight Silksong.
And it's launching fall this year, so it's out this year. We know the quarter. We know it's going to launch with this handheld and also other platforms. So that was some good little bit of news. But yeah, this ROG Xbox Ally X, or the Ally, it looks interesting, but it's not like a slam dunk.
I think it's quite ugly.
It is.
The fact that it's like, so it's got the little grippy handles on the side, which is
so it's kind of like a pad,
but it's like it looks like a fucking slab with those attached to it. Do you know what I mean? Like you can see
I think it should be really comfortable. I'm fine with it. I don't think it looks dreadful. It doesn't look as bad as some of the renders that we saw. The D-pad looks pretty weak. My favourite thing about it is that it's got lettering all over it. Like you know, it's got micro lettering on the PlayStation pads, right? Or micro symbols on the PlayStation pads. But the thing it's got on it is ROG X, right? So when you look at it really closely, you can see the X and the 0, and it's just a triangle and square away from just completely mimicking everything Sony's done on their recent consoles. So, bit weird, but
do you know what I hope
we'll see. I just think it's going to be way out of budget for me, like way more than I'm willing to pay for this sort of experience.
I hope they've also got like the thing's going to have loads of stickers on it as well. You know, like in PCs,
like Intel,
Intel inside. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean, do you want to talk about Sea of Thieves?
So they're adding a
Hold on, you're missing Super Meat Boy, right? That's a big announcement.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought Sea of Thieves was after that. My bad.
So they're adding like a new thing where you can basically be a smuggler. But it wasn't entirely clear how it works, but I'm assuming it is just you're going to be carting like stolen stuff around. But yeah, not really sure how that's entirely different from the sort of stuff you do anyway. Like, because obviously the whole thing in Sea of Thieves is you are sailing around and hoping no one attacks you and steals your shit. So I'll be intrigued to see how this is different. But yeah, we'll see.
And then, as David said, we had what I think was probably the thing that I was most excited about from this show was Super Meat Boy 3D, because I thought this looked incredible.
Mate, the video in front of me is all out of whack. I mean, look, Super Meat Boy is a brilliant game, and to think that they're going to try and make a 3D platform out of it, it's a very exciting concept. And I thought this was a brilliant reveal. It was one of those where it was like a recognizable character doing something completely different. This is a great reveal to have on this show. Super excited for this. It's looking good.
And then, okay, I mean, I'm not sure if you want to skip through some of these. I don't know who cares. But
well, we've got to. We should also mention that when Phil came out, he said about the fact that next year, 2026, like the 25th anniversary of Xbox, and we're going to get new Forza, which we could guess about.
It's right at the end, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is at the end.
Oh, was that right? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, at the end,
it was right at the end, Jay. That was weird, the way he said that. He said, 25 years of Xbox next, with new Forza, Fable, Gears of War. It was like...
And crucially, he said, like, the return of a classic that's been there from the beginning, and apparently that's a Halo Combat Evolved remaster.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to do another remake of that.
Another remaster of that. That'd be well, I mean, they seem to be remastering remaster games. Like there was also the Gears of War 1 remaster, which they only remastered a few years back. So bizarre situation there. But okay, James, yeah.
We had Ninja Gaiden 4. I mean, I don't know if anyone is particularly bothered about that.
Not particularly, no.
Okay. But then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. They had,
which we knew was coming, but they had a couple of like nice announcements in there. They had
the Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guys. All of them are there. Tony Hawk's going to be great. I've got no doubt about that. That is going to be a very good game when that comes out in a few weeks' time. I didn't need to play the demo, but lots of people on my friends list were playing the demo that night. So it's clearly enough. Well, it's not clearly enough interest, David. You've got about 8 friends on Xbox, but they were playing it. So, but there's no way that I wanted to play it. Like I just want to play the game when it comes out. I know I'm going to play it. I don't need that demo. So.
Excited for that.
Yeah, excited.
Then more Indiana Jones DLC. I will play that because the original game very good. Really enjoyed that. And then
go on,
Matt.
One of my favourite announcements for the whole weekend really was this game called Mudang Two Hearts, which is so it says it's a story-driven game with action, horror, and stealth elements. You say it's set in Korea, James. There's essentially protest. It looked really interesting in all the kind of elements they had. I mean, also you don't know much about the studio. At least I don't. It's come out next year, but it was one of the best trailers and one of the most exciting announcements for me. It just looked really cool.
It looked really great. It was up until the point when it became all like zombies and stuff, and I was like, a bit less interested in this.
Yeah,
now.
It wasn't clear because it was initially looked like a very stylish but relatively realistic shooter, and then there was supernatural stuff coming in.
Yeah,
but it looked interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a weird order that IGN have put this in because it's not entirely.
Yeah, it's not the order it was announced. I mean, another big one for me is Clockwork Revolution.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
So it's In Exile Entertainment, and it's like steampunk. It kind of reminded me of things like Bioshock Infinite and that kind of stuff. It just looked really interesting. It was a really interesting trailer, really good trailer. It sold me on the concept, on the kind of characters, the tone of the game as well.
It's really interesting because In Exile previously did the Wasteland games. I tried to play Wasteland 3 about a year ago. I gather it was well received. I struggled with it.
Yeah, I played it because it was so well received. I think it did incredibly well review-wise, or at least it's a couple. I'm like, okay, I've got to try this, and it's 2. I didn't get enough time. I think I need to give it at least 3 to 4 hours to really sink my teeth into that.
Yeah, there was a lot of really interesting games like this Clockwork Revolution, wasn't there? They were just slightly off, had a style of its own. You had There Are No Ghosts at the Grand, which looked like it had its own thing going on. I think that's what I was so excited about with what Xbox was showing us. And it's not an Xbox thing. I'm sure a lot of these games are coming to other consoles.
Well,
they did make I mean pretty much all of them. It did make a point of saying that, was it all the games were on Game Pass, or
not all of them, but a lot of the trailers started with play it day one on Game Pass.
Yeah. And but like you look at There Are No Ghosts at the Grand, and it was like, oh, this is different. This is different. It felt like, I don't know. I think back to the 360 era, probably with rose-tinted glasses. There were games. There was a bit, there was that whole thing about grey games and all that sort of stuff on the 360. But there was a hell of a lot of stuff that looked like it was trying to do different things. And I think that's been missing from gaming quite a bit recently, actually. And actually, since the pandemic, whenever we've seen presentations of these, you go, a lot of these games look similar. Whereas this showcase didn't feel like
it felt like a lot of variety. They even had a mini anime section, but even that was tiny. I think the pacing of this was excellent. The variety was really, really good.
And that's the thing, particularly after Summer Game Fest, this felt great, because it wasn't just Souls-likes constantly, which was pretty good. I mean, I like Chronos. Which is this? It's a Bloober Team game.
Yeah.
And
James is a big fan of Bloober Team, as we all know.
I mean, I
forgot you love them.
Yeah, but no, I thought this looked great. That
the
and
Bloobs,
also
you call them the Bloobies.
the Bloobs.
He's the leader of the Blue Boys.
Yeah.
The Blue Boys fan club.
Yeah.
Blue Boys podcast is great, actually. You should keep that going.
It's a good one. Blue
Then there
Calls.
was, is it Aphelion?
Yeah, that's a Don't Nod game, isn't it?
It's Don't Nod, which also looked, I thought, quite interesting. This was,
I thought trailer is, lone man on a snowy planet, and I already thought, as what, sorry?
It was a woman, wasn't it?
I was okay. I saw the man towards the end, but and I was like, okay, like mysterious planet. What's going to happen? There probably will be aliens, but the whole trailer was just quiet and then at the end they just showed the man opening a door and seeing a big monster. I'm like, you didn't need to show me that in a trailer. Save that for the game. It was clear that there's going to be something else at hand here. It's not just going to be you exploring a planet on your own. Yeah. Anyway, I'm still looking forward to it. I know Don't Nod, I've had some shockers recently, but that's got a lot of things that I like. Space and exploration, a little bit of horror. So
it looked like a really good showing. It looked like it could be a potentially really good game. I do worry about Don't Nod at the moment. I do worry about.
Well, I think it's good for them to get away from the Life is Strange game and do something different.
Run dry.
But they've already done that once, and that was shite.
Okay, well,
we also had Double Fine's new game.
Trying to be positive, David.
I am trying to be positive. Yeah, Double Fine game. Yeah,
this is Keeper. Yeah,
where you play as a lighthouse on legs, but also there's like a bird that's sort of flying around with you and doing stuff as well.
Definitely
that's outdated language.
Amnesia Fortnite game, right? 100% an Amnesia Fortnite game. That.
Well, yeah, that's where they get everything from.
Yeah, I'm not putting it down. I was just like, now that you've watched, I watched all those episodes, I was I know exactly how this was developed. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It looks really fucking cool. I like the look of
the visual
Keeper.
style's fucking unbelievable.
Yes, I'm glad they've moved away from their style a little bit and trying something a bit different. It's still got a bit of Double Fine about it, isn't it? But it looks fucking great. I'm well up for that.
I mean, this isn't really for me, but the fact that Final Fantasy VII Remake is finally coming to Xbox after a billion years on PlayStation.
And Final Fantasy 15 as well.
16 is out now.
Oh, is it 16?
So 16 was out at the time they announced it, on Sunday night. Yeah, so, but yes, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is, it has the Yuffie DLC that was on PlayStation, no mention of Rebirth. I'm sure that happened at some point as well, but it's good these games are finally coming to Xbox, even if it's a long old time since. I
wouldn't bother. Anything else that stuck out?
I mean, Grounded 2 got announced, which was a bit of a surprise.
Well, I
didn't play the first one much, but now it's moved from someone's back garden to a park in town, so loads more variety. I think loads more options. Now they've got things like they're called buggies, which are mounts. Bugs to use to get around the environment. It's going into not early access, what they call game preview in July 29th. So that's pretty cool. It's a bit of a surprise. Didn't realize they're going to work on that.
And they closed with.
Oh my god! This trailer. This almost made me drop or dock 20 points from the showcase. They said one more thing, okay, here we go. Is it going to be is it going to be Halo? Is it going to be this? Who knows what it could be?
We are thick. We are thick.
I know.
I'm with you, but we're fucking stupid because it's their biggest game.
Yeah. I know, but it's also the fucking obvious.
Yeah, but
but it's their biggest game, and they hadn't mentioned Call of Duty the whole time. We are idiots for not knowing this was Call of Duty. There's no getting around it. Afterwards, I sat there going, why didn't I instantly go, oh, here comes Call of Duty? Because, of course, they're going to end with that.
I spent the first half going, is that the guy from Heroes?
Well, it's
that was the actor. That was the actor, yeah.
But they gave us a really mysterious, cryptic trailer. I'm like, okay, it looks great. It's got a well-known actor that I didn't know the name of. It's what is this, sci-fi? Is this combat? What is this? This is a whole new IP from Microsoft. This could be excellent. And for it just then be it's Black Ops 7. We fucking know there's a Black Ops game, but it's just don't
So it looks amazing, Matt, but you're just because of the name, suddenly you don't give a shit. Is that it?
What's that? What do you mean?
Who's the problem here? Who cares if it's a Call of Duty game?
Oh,
it looks amazing, right?
I'm sure it'd be excellent, but the trailer just had me excited for something new and exciting rather than just another Black Ops game, which I'm sure will be excellent. But
I'm sure it'd be good. But the
potential of what is this IP and what's this game going to be and then
I just feel like a Call of. I mean, Black Ops 6 had loads of weird and wonderful stuff in the campaign, but I can't imagine a COD campaign delivering on some of the stuff that was suggested in that trailer.
It's just a shit. It's just such a shit way to end. It's like, oh, what's it going to be? Oh, it's that. Put it in the middle. We know it's coming. Don't tease us out the one huge one more thing trailer, which is all mysterious and exciting and cryptic.
Game in their roster. Them ending with that is hardly a surprise.
That could be the penultimate game. We know it's coming.
Yeah, that final game.
Shit. It was shit. It was fucking shit. It
done my head in. It was a brilliant trailer.
No, like it's just a tease. It's like, hey, I'm yours. Hey, we got you. It's actually COD. Like that's basically what it felt like to us. Like a big middle finger.
Do you know, I can't.
No, it didn't.
This.
Don't twist it and make it all cryptic. Like, what's it going to be? Oh, it's that.
This is weird, right? Because I agree with David about this,
man.
And the reason I agree with you,
know
is
why? Because we play the games.
Exactly.
I'm not
because
saying, I know
that
it would
whole
be great.
cryptic, that.
I'm not
all
saying
that stuff about it being cryptic and all that kind of stuff, that's kind of what those games are all about. It's like, it does make sense.
So you knew this was a Call of Duty trailer?
I didn't know it was. No, but then
if it's all about that, James, why didn't you mention it was Call of Duty Black Ops 7?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know it was going to be that, but then it did make sense when
it's just like, we got you. It's like, no, mate.
For me,
it wasn't we got you.
For me, it's really simple. That last, one more thing should be for a surprise. It is not a surprise that they're doing another fucking Call of Duty.
But it is their biggest game, as David said.
Yeah, but that's not an exciting end.
How big it is. It was.
I know you don't care. I know you don't care, but it's like
okay.
Yeah, but no, who was like, oh, this is news. They're doing a new Call of Duty.
Yeah,
fuck me. Can't wait for that.
I think that was a terrible way to end it. Like that left me a sour taste in my mouth.
No, but I was like, this looks fucking great. I can't wait to play more Call of Duty.
It was a great trailer.
I loved the last Call of Duty. I spent.
So were you sitting there being like, it's a shame they're not making any more Calls of Duty?
No, it would have been weirder though if they'd not mentioned it the whole fucking conference.
Yeah, have it earlier on, have it penultimate game, whatever. But don't tease me with a big mysterious. What's this going to be? Oh, it's that big game we knew was coming anyway.
I think it was a big mysterious. What's it going to be?
Well, yes, of course it was because if it was obviously Call of Duty, they would have said it would have been like obvious straight away. The fact they didn't, they just tried to hold a secret, and it wasn't a secret. It's annoying.
It was obvious straight
away.
Shit way to looking back on it, I think the big surprise was that it's another Black Ops game. Like that was the surprise.
Yeah, I guess Black Ops today is like the most popular Call of Duty ever, but it's on loads of platforms now and Game Pass. But let's say it's the biggest one ever, so it makes sense. But I just hate this as an end of the conference. It really left a sour taste in my mouth.
If you like the look of the game, what does it matter that it's a Call of Duty game? If you like that trailer up until the point that announced it's a Call of Duty game, who's the problem?
Well, yeah, but but the narrative of the piece is like, and the show is in general, like as Sean said, I think in the end should be like, one more thing. What's this going to be? Holy shit,
this, mate.
A surprise, something new.
This is
not one more thing. This is like
snobbery.
This is like if Apple said one more thing. We've got an iPhone this year. No way. You're not doing an iPhone, are you?
Stop gatekeeping.
Yeah. No, I think it's a shit way to end it, and it did ruin it for me. But I was like, come on, don't get my hopes up. And then it's just like, obviously the sequel to their biggest title.
Yeah,
put it earlier on.
But don't get my hopes up.
Here's a new Call of Duty trailer.
This is a new Matt Murray. Don't get my hopes up. And the only thing you're disappointed about is what the game is called. That's the only thing you're disappointed about.
I'm sure it's been great. Black Ops 6 was great. I'm not denying the quality of the game.
Didn't play it.
I did. I told you I did all the house puzzles and all sorts of shit.
That was bad.
15 minutes. But it's not that. I'm not talking about the quality of the game. It's just like, I just don't like the fact that they've ended it with, what's it going to be? Oh, it's this. Show us earlier.
People accusing you of padding the show out. We don't need to do that. We've not even started.
I just want to get my voice heard. Am I right? Yeah. I think it's rubbish way to end it. Wankers.
Yep. Agreed.
Well, I don't agree. I thought it was a great way to end it. I love a bit of Call of Duty.
They didn't bill it as a surprise anyway.
What?
Xbox
of course they did. They didn't tell us what the game was until the end. It was like,
of course they didn't. They're not going to. Phil Spencer's not going to come out and say, "Now I've got a new Call of Duty trailer for you. Have a look at this."
The opening bit of it was the Call of Duty logo. And warning, guys, this is Call of Duty.
I would have been happy then.
After the trailer, he just cut to me and went like, "Probably be the same as the last one, mate. Don't worry about it."
Matt,
I would have been happy if it said,
James
here's
has
new
a
Call of Duty
fucking
trailer.
good point. James has a fucking good point there.
That makes a
you
change.
don't open with Call of Duty Black Ops whatever and then show the trailer.
I know you don't.
Do that, do you?
I know you don't, but
but
don't
if
make
that
it so
trailer
cryptic.
had been elsewhere in the show, it would have been absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I just don't think it warrants.
It goes against what the one more thing should
But
be
it
about
does,
for me.
It does for Microsoft, though.
I think I agree with you there. It doesn't really warrant the hey, we've got one more thing.
Yeah,
but the
which
same.
is a surprise.
Chill out. There's more.
I will not.
He's starting to compromise. That's
Right. But when you consider it's one of the most popular games on the planet, and it is Microsoft's biggest game, right? Minecraft.
It's probably one of the only games that's actually making them any money. So it's like, why? Of course they're going to big it up.
Of course they're going to end it with that. Of course it is. It's their biggest game.
Well, I don't like it. Have it the penultimate one, but the end should be a surprise and a twist, and like, holy shit, man.
James want a future where the big surprise at the end is a game we all know is going to happen.
This is not a holy shit moment. This is not a holy shit moment, and this needed a holy. It didn't need it.
I think there are
This should have
enough
been a holy shit
people out
moment.
there. I think there are more people out there that were sitting watching this thing going, "Oh my god, we're going to see the new Call of Duty," than jaded fucking middle-aged people like you two.
100%. You're right.
I'm not jaded. I want excitement. That's what I want.
Well, you sound jaded,
And
mate.
I think I'm hardly jaded.
Oh,
If I
this
was
game
jaded,
looks good. This game looks good. Oh, it looks so good. Call of Duty.
like we I don't want people to think I'm padding this out. I just want to get my point across. Like we all surely agree that one more thing should be a nice surprise and something new, right?
Yep.
Not just here's another one.
It was a surprise that it was new Black Ops. That was a surprise. They've
Yeah,
never
but he
done two
didn't.
Black Ops
He
in a
didn't.
row.
He also, I'm pretty certain he didn't come up and say, "We got a final surprise for you." I'm pretty certain he
we've
just said, "We got
more
one
thing,
final."
James, don't be a fucking idiot. You know what he meant. James, he said one more thing. We all know what that means. So I was like, oh,
Do you
what's
like
it going to be?
First-person
We all,
shooters.
we all know it means Silk Song time. Let's go.
Yeah, something new and exciting. Anyway, let's stop this. But I'm so fucking mad at him for that.
I'm not. I thought it was a great game to end on, and it looks fantastic. Right, we done.
Yes.
We've got to talk
Holy
about.
shit! I did not expect it to go that way. Fucking hell. Right, we've got to move on, man. We are 1 hour 40 in, and we've not started talking about the brand new video game console that's just come out. Are you ready to talk about the Switch 2? I would like to start this segment with discussions about our launch day experiences, because I think we'll end with you, James. I know you've got the best story out of everyone, but I want to hear about a midnight launch at a shop. That doesn't happen anymore, does it?
In this economy.
How did it go, Matt, Sean? You both went to Smith's at midnight to pick up your consoles.
We did.
What
We
was
went to
that
different
like?
Smiths.
Well, initially there was a bit of a panic because I knew
Went to
the
the wrong
way
Smiths.
to Smiths, and then
We
I
went
was
to
like,
WH.
I'll
I
open
knew the
Google
way
Maps
to
anyway.
Smiths.
Big fucking closure on the M6, so I had to go through country roads, and I was like, oh no, here we go.
Oh, at night. That's really bad as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine in the end. I mean, I went
Phew.
to the one in Warrington. It was quiet.
Was it really?
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of people there, but just no one was talking. It was
Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it? I mean, I remember, like, not necessarily. I went to a few midnight launches, and they were always. It's always that big thing because you're so excited, and like you see videos of people getting into the queue and all getting on and woo and all that sort of stuff. But every midnight launch or launch for something that I've been to, people just stand there and just they don't talk to each other. They look at their feet. Like that's been my experience. Like I remember the fucking iPhone launches. Do you remember that when you had to go and queue up at O2, Matt? And it was like you get there at like 4 in the
unfortunately.
morning. And there was still
did one of
40
those, yeah.
people in front of you.
Yeah.
And you join the queue and you just be like, I'm on my own.
So why am I here so early? This is
probably not
embarrassing.
getting one anyway.
Yeah.
However, new film, baby.
Yeah.
Loads of people talking in mine. It was annoying.
There were two funny things about mine. One, the electricians were in at the time, and one of them was on like a cherry picker, so he was like all the way up, and he was working on something to do with the
I
lights.
love this.
But he was, I assume he'd been told he had to stop while there were customers in.
While the nerds are
So he was
congregating.
just stood
Absolutely
there
fuming.
with his arms folded, just watching us on top of this fucking cherry picker. Like, like fucking like 5 meters up in the air. Just
Yeah,
like,
so at least get a camera and get some content recorded.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be loving that for the social channels.
Shoot this. The other funny thing was, so as most people probably know now, so yeah, Smith said, like, you know, we're doing midnight launches, all pre-orders are guaranteed. Also, we'll have a few consoles available for sale, like, on the day. But, you know, and I was thinking, well, what, surely, like, 2 or 3 of them. Got there, the queue for, like, the pre-order collection desk, there must have been about 30, 40 of us. And then they had, like, 2 tills that were just open as normal. They were just like, does anyone want to just buy one? So it would have been quicker if
to
I'd
cancel.
never pre-ordered it and I just showed up and went, yeah, here you go.
Yeah,
I was
but it would have been
thinking, like, do I cancel my pre-order on my phone and then just pick one up and go to the till?
It would have been like 2 months of hell, though. That's the problem.
That's true.
Yeah, waiting for refunds and.
Hold on. When they saw 40 people queuing and no one using the other tills, why didn't they think, I maybe open one of the other tills for the
Move
pre-orders?
some staff over to yeah.
Were you allowed in the store then? Like, for us, it's just 2 at a time.
Oh, was it? No, we all went in and queued.
Oh
they can't
God,
trust
was
them
there like
in
an
the
armed guard coming?
It was all like we were sort of funneled straight to the collection
pushing you
desk,
towards
obviously,
the cashier with the butt of the gun. Was some people were chatting in your queue?
Yeah, it's doing my head in. I just wanted to be on my phone, look at the floor.
What do you mean?
It's like,
Like,
shut
what
up.
were they saying? What happened?
I was just like, people talking about their favourite games, and I was like, oh, have you seen that? And I'm like, oh yes, I've seen it. I just didn't want to hear their shitty little conversations about shitty long games.
who I am. Like,
Yeah.
I know they're going to be kicking themselves on Wednesday. Like, bloody hell, didn't realise he's in the queue with us. Fucking hell.
He's like, I play Switch Boy.
I'll play Switch. Oh, little podcast, good computer game show. Yeah, I know. It's just in my head. All the people talking. There's too many people talking. Just shut up. Get on your phones and wait
Runner up
for
at the Independent Podcast Awards 2 years running. Yeah, baby.
games we did Britlist in 2007. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, lots of people talking. There's probably in the end, there's probably 50 odd people that are queued up, which is way more than I thought. I mean, when I parked up, I'm like, this could be like me and one other random idiot, but no, more people there. Yeah, 2 at a time. They said the stores were open between 1 minute past midnight and 12:30. And the first people went in at 1 minute past midnight, and they're still there at 1:15. I'm like, please do not let us be a situation where I'm queuing for half an hour, and they say, well, I'm sorry, sir, we're shutting. It's 12:30.
And the last person that comes out with one is one of the Apocalypse players.
Yeah,
somehow.
Same guy doing the same face. Hello, if you're listening. You won't be listening. Yeah, so that's really nice. But thankfully, I mean, I got in there. It was like 2 minutes. But if you had pre-ordered and got all your stuff ready, I don't know what the issue was. But anyway, let's be all chatting.
It was weird because our queue was going really slow. So part of me was like, oh, come on. But then also, when they haven't done this for years and years and years, right? So logistically, probably no one there has ever done a midnight launch before, so they're probably just figuring it out as they went, I guess.
Were the staff in was it in party mood in there, or is it literally just gives you money and fuck off?
They were in a good mood. They weren't I don't think they were annoyed at having to be there or anything, but there wasn't
no freebies.
No freebies.
No, well, I think I used to select. I mean, 5 or 6 Smith stores in the country. They were open from 11, and there was giveaways and other stuff, right, but not at the one I went to.
No, same.
But yeah, I went there. I got 2 minutes, collected all my stuff.
I'd have put some music on if I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. No one dressed up. I mean,
do you know what? If I was a manager of the Smiths, I'd play music
of the Smiths.
What,
band? I know you should Midnight Launches, boys. What? Let's an album? No, Midnight Launches.
All right, he's got like dog with a bone.
You idiot, David! You fucked it.
If I was manager of Smith,
of the Smiths,
I'd play music from New Super Mario Bros. And then tell the staff that they've got to move their arms when it goes bap bap every time. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Otherwise you're fucking fired.
And that's why you can run a successful toy shop
or band
or paper merchants.
Okay. But were you glad that you went at midnight? Was that?
Yeah,
yes.
It was good because I haven't done it for years. It's like a nice little, something new, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Plus, because we recently have gone down to one car, and I forgot to ask Nu if she needed the car on the Thursday, and it turned out she did. So if there was no midnight launch, I wouldn't have got my Switch 2.
Could you e-bike there?
Was it?
Could you have
You could've
e-biked there?
skated.
I could not. Well, I could have, but it would take me about 2 hours, and then I have to charge it while I'm at the shop. So probably not.
Play hot new Switch where you're waiting for it to charge.
So my I mean, this is not as cool as that, but my launch day I got mine from Argos, and to be fair, Argos absolutely smashed it. They sent me a text saying you're getting it day
They
one.
what?
It showed up. Come on, it showed up.
I think that deserved more.
DPD. Oh, lovely old job.
Was it the Staples?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit.
That was a funny story.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. I'd be fucking fuming.
No, I mean, obviously it's horrible for anyone it happened to, but for me, it's
Okay. So, well, just to mention it, there was a shop in America. Was it Best Buy? I don't want to say.
I thought it was
what-
Game. I thought it was
Target.
GameStop.
one of those American shops they have over there.
One of those American shops.
It was yeah.
Walmart.
In and out
They
burger.
lined up all the switches. And attached the receipts to each switch for the for the people that pre-ordered, but they'd stapled it onto the box, and the staple went straight through the box and into the screen of the switches when people
nightmare.
were opening them
How
up.
big were the fucking staples?
They did a good job on it,
Not
didn't
that
they?
close. The screen's not that close
but
to the edge of the box.
No, it is. It's right. Yeah, it's right on the front. Yeah, like when you open up the thing, it's like right at the top. So I mean, it's just an absolutely stupid but understandable issue. There was a weird thing. There was a weird thing in the UK though. I don't know if you had it, but the outer sleeve of the box, they were all they had seal stickers on,
Yeah.
but they were all open.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, I
like
heard about that.
a country-wide thing. All of them had been like unsealed for some reason. Anyway,
Just before we get to yours, I mean, on ours, I'm not sure it was the same in yours and Argos, but I bought my Switch. I'm sure it's probably the same as Sean. And there was this laminate bit of paper on the till, and like,
Yes.
please read this. Do not pull off the thin screen protector on the system. It will destroy it.
we
And
will
I was
talk
like,
about the screen
okay. I mean, I had
protector.
already heard about it online, but yeah, we'll talk about it after. But that's going to surely be an issue.
yeah, there was no warning with ours, but there's Amazon. I ordered a few items from them, and fucking really weird. So I ordered the Pro Controller and I ordered the official case and screen protector from Amazon. I was like, when I ordered it, it said it's been delivered on the Saturday, so Saturday the 6th or whatever, and I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, the 7th. Everyone had the 7th.
No, the 7th. That was
Weird.
it. The 7th.
Yeah, strangely.
I was like, fine, they'll change that towards closer to the time. Surely that's a placeholder. Fucking wasn't. Like John Denton had one ordered. It said the 7th. He had the first round of invites from Amazon. He ordered it that day, and it got to the 5th on launch day, and so he went back on it. I said, but am I getting this thing? And they went, no, it's delivered Saturday. So he had to cancel that, and he found one in an Argos locally that was available when to pick it up.
Yeah, some people in the same position were cancelling it and then reordering with Amazon. It was like,
Yeah.
it'll be there tomorrow.
Really?
But yeah,
I mean, that was lucky for me because I had an Amazon pre-order and then forgot to cancel it until a day before. If it was actually going to arrive on launch day, I would have already been charged. But thankfully, I was like, oh shit, I've got another one. I need to cancel this.
Well, that was the good thing about Argos. We got charged when we pre-ordered it like a couple of months ago. So it was like that to the stomach had already been done. so it's like that was in the distant past now. But yeah, so my Pro Controller and the case didn't turn up till the Friday actually. So but I was like, fucking hell, man! Amazon are usually really good at this shit. I can't believe how much they fucked this up.
yeah. Like say what you
there
want
must have
about
been loads of
Amazon, but
people.
logistics is their shit. Like,
yeah, they're really good at it.
Yeah, I'm
but
blown away
that's-
that John's. I mean, we all did it. We all did it. They'll update. You'll get it on launch day. The fact that he didn't actually get, well, he would have not got his till Saturday. It was just crazy stuff.
James, I want to hear about your launch day because did you save it for Asher? That's
did,
the
yeah.
question we all want to know.
I mean, I did.
Did you save it by choice or did
Yes.
you have to save it because of an error?
I mean, there were errors involved, but I was going to anyway. I mean, I'd ordered some accessory stuff like Pro Controller and stuff off from Amazon, and that all came on the day, and so it was all just sitting there, in boxes.
Stop
waiting.
slagging off Germany then. They sound on it.
Well, I mean, MediaMarkt less so, because what happened was
MediaMarkt.
so. My plan was I was like, okay, Asher's coming home on Friday, and so I'll be able to like go and pick it up on Thursday evening, and then it'll be here, when he gets back and stuff. And so I got an email earlier in the week that was like, oh, this is all being sorted out for the 5th, for when it's coming out. Then I checked like on the app, and it's like, actually no, you don't come here until you get a notification that tells you with like your pickup code, and that never arrived. And so the Thursday, like the launch day, I was like, okay, I don't think this is going to happen, even though they'd already billed me like months ago. Like they billed me for the whole thing. And so I was like, this is really annoying and then throughout the whole of Friday, also nothing. And I was just like, oh, this isn't good. Like, this is going to be, if it's not today, Saturday's probably very unlikely. And then it's basically the whole thing's a write-off until Tuesday or Wednesday. But then what's quite funny about it was we then got like an email through from MediaMarkt apologising for the fact that it hadn't turned up and everything, and they hadn't done it. And they were like, it's okay, we're going to give you a €10 like voucher code, as like an apology. And it had like, here is your code.
This cannot be used on the purchase of your Switch.
Yeah, on anything.
Well, no, you should see the list of things it cannot be used for.
It's, really?
Is it Funkos only?
It's an extensive list of things that it's not valid for. And it's like, so that it was like on the email, it was like, here is your code, and then there's no code. Like they hadn't bothered to put the codes in, which is quite funny.
I mean, mail mergers can be annoying.
No one would question it.
Yeah, and then so that was funny. And then on Friday I got another email in the morning. I was all excited. It was like, oh no, sorry, we fucked up with the voucher codes. Here's your voucher code. I was like, great, I'd rather have the console, please. And but then eventually I think it was in the afternoon it came through, and it was like, oh yeah, you can go and pick it up now. And so we managed to. But it was good, because then Asher came home and I was still working. And he was just like, can we go and get it now? And I'm like, no, because I can't leave because I'm at work. And then eventually went and picked it up. But it was great,
that must
actually.
Have been the longest 2 hours of that kid's life. That must have been excruciating.
He wasn't very happy about it, the wait. But it was okay. And then I am genuinely glad that I did it though, like this way, because it was really cool.
You're welcome.
To go and pick it up with him, and then also to then go and like open it together and stuff, and like it was really good.
You're welcome.
I'm glad. Thank you for the suggestion. I thought it was crazy at the time, but it's but it was good. It was really, really nice actually to do together. And
did he say thank you for you waiting to share the special moment with him?
He didn't know. He didn't do that, no. Which is
but he'll remember it.
Yeah, he'll remember it.
Oh,
I was just saying, if he did, I wasn't sure if you're going to mention us or not.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, thanks, Dad. Well, it wasn't me. I didn't really want to do it. Ashley was
like,
thank boys.
Ashley was like, I do appreciate you doing this, Dad, but it is kind of base level parenting, really.
It's the minimum
you've ever done
we
before in my
expect
life.
as children. Yeah.
And it's based on guilt as well. For the whole thing. So but no, it was good. I'm really glad we did it. It was.
What did you get with it, James?
So I got the Pro controller, and I also got the case as well that you got, and also the camera, obviously, which we picked up.
We'll come to all that. What did Asher get with it?
He didn't get anything with it apart from but I did buy him a case in the shop because I was like, he needs one of those, so I bought him one of those. Nice. And
nice,
and that was it.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so, I mean, I got same as James, and you just got the console, didn't you, Sean? Or
just console, yeah.
Loser. Let's talk about the console. I've got to say, the first day was underwhelming, and I think that was mainly because it is a nicer Switch. It is a better Switch, right? It's better than the OLED. The screen's bigger. I think, you could turn around and say, yeah, but it's not an OLED all you want. I mean, the screen on this is very, very nice. Like, it is very nice.
It is a good LCD, yeah. The LCD panels are getting way better these days. It obviously isn't quite OLED levels. That's fine. It's still an excellent panel.
When the difference is so minuscule now between this screen and the OLED screen, and it is, you could say, oh no, it's totally different as much as you want. No, it is. It's negligible at this point.
But I still just like knowing it's an OLED screen. So
that's the problem, Matt. You just want to be told it's an OLED.
OLEDs are better panels. Okay. That's a fact.
Yeah, but if you can't see the difference,
I can if I have them side by side.
Only if you would. We need to test that.
And I'm not. It's good. I'm just saying, oh yeah, whatever.
It's bigger than I thought it would be. It's
really big, isn't it?
One of my first thoughts were, this isn't a kid's toy. How long before they bring out the light?
Yeah.
They're going to bring out a light version of this pretty quickly. I think.
Yeah, it definitely feels more premium. I'm not sure about the size or how thin it is, or I don't know, maybe even the color. But it just
James is laughing because he loves it when you call something premium. It's a thing that James has got.
Would you not say it feels a bit more?
Yeah, would you not feel that, James?
Oh, it definitely feels more premium. Yeah.
Why are you laughing at Matt?
Well, it sounds like you're being sarcastic.
No, it's just.
So you think it doesn't feel premium?
I just enjoyed how many times you said the word premium when you were doing the unboxing. It was great.
What do you think it feels like, then, James?
No, it does. It definitely feels higher quality, I would say, than the.
That's another way of saying it.
Yeah. I think what I mean by being underwhelmed is it really reminded me of the launch of the Series X. And I mean, this was slightly better because I think the Joy-Cons are cooler. You know, being able to snap them with magnets is way better than slide them onto the machine. Yeah, nice. However, you launch it, it's the same OS. The majority of the games you're going to be playing on this thing are Switch games. Once the buzz of Mario Kart World dies down. And it just felt that, you know, even going onto the shop, which is way better.
The redesigned store,
it's way better. The store on the Switch too. Even going on a store, you look at the games available for it, and you're like, I mean, I could buy Cyberpunk, but I don't want to. You know,
and that's if you're looking at like, you know, the featured bit. If you go to just like new releases, it's like, oh yeah, there's fucking loads of just absolute dreck in it. It's like, it's just loads of shit. Because of course it is, because it's the same eShop as the Switch. But
yes.
How did you all find the setup process?
I thought it was
fine.
really easy.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Transferring things across.
Yeah, did we all do the transfer?
Why did you feel? Why was it a pain in the ass?
Because and maybe, you know, Nintendo weren't to know, but like my old Switch is now Isaac's and has been for some time. He plays loads of stuff I don't care about. So then the Switch 2 was like, don't worry, we'll download every single game that was installed on your previous Switch. And I had to go cancel. And it took fucking ages and it was annoying as hell.
Oh, shit. Okay, so I just let it do that. Right. And it didn't take that much longer than it would have. I mean, it must have done it all in about 20 to 25 minutes.
But I just didn't want any of the games. So I was like,
yeah, but then I could just deleted them
afterwards. Them later.
Yeah, delete them later, I think, was an easier thing to do because the OS is like set up to do that. You can delete things like really easily off the...
One of the things that I'm really pleased about actually with the Switch 2 though is the speed of networking on it is significantly better than the Switch. Like
download speeds.
The download speed is like, because you know, like that was capped even when it was even when you were using like Ethernet, it was like less than 100 megabytes or whatever like per second, whereas this is now it was like going full whack, and I was like, this is brilliant. This is like downloading things at the speed that my other consoles do. And,
that's so funny you say that, because I always felt Switch felt so quick downloading. That's why I didn't have a memory card, because
all the games were 300 meg.
But because the games are smaller, so I never really thought about the speed because the game seems to instantly download almost. So I was happy with that.
Yeah. No, the speed was terrible on the original Switch.
Yeah. The one trouble that I did have with the transfer, Sean, was the stupid fucking system with the virtual game cards. Well, I mean, I think ultimately it makes sense. Like I was going to
say, I'm a convert now.
But I still haven't investigated enough. But what I've seen is just annoying. It's like every time I buy a game, and this is now a virtual game card.
Yeah, my issue was like, we've installed loads of games on this Switch for you, Switch 2 for you, and I go to play them, and they're like, no, go into your old Switch and load and send the game card to this one. Yeah, loads of them.
What it's done on mine is basically, so it downloaded a bunch of stuff, and I told it I didn't want it to, and then I just went to my virtual game card collection and kind of just went through it. I was like, right, these are all Isaac games, so I just loaded them into the old Switch, and then anything I've played, I've just gone, load it to this one, please.
I wonder if it's because which one you make your main console. Maybe I need to make my Switch to the main console.
I've not touched that stuff because I've
the problem with that is that if I do that, the kids can't play any of my games. I don't think.
Well, isn't that what the virtual game cards will do
That's what
instead.
Game cards are for. Yeah.
No, because they're not on my friends. I think I need to come off of your family thing, James, and just do the family thing with my lot.
Because I think the reason it's worked for me is I think it's quite situational in that, yes, so I've only got 2 Switches in the house. Both are like me and Isaac are logged in on both of them, and we're family members. So it literally because I thought, from the way they described it, they mentioned the sort of 2-week limit. It's like, oh, you can loan cards to other people, but that seems to be for other family members who aren't logged in on either of the Switches. So anyone on your family can lend them games. So this is literally like I'm just giving Isaac games, and they're just his now. They're just permanently playable on his Switch. So.
This is what I've done because I've never bothered with the primary and secondary Switch stuff because I've always bought cartridges instead of downloads for stuff that I knew that we were going to play together, just because I thought it was easier because then you don't have that whole internet needing an internet connection issue and that kind of stuff.
It is annoying.
And so the virtual cards has been quite good for us because it's meant that a lot of games that I had that were download games, like Metroid Dread that Asher wanted to play, and now I can just loan it to him. And it's a lot easier rather than setting up all the different internet settings and all that kind of stuff.
So I haven't investigated this stuff yet, but I'm doing that thing where we've got parental what is it, tracking, whatever it is, and the primary, secondary. I mean, Elodie doesn't play many of my digital games, but maybe I should just remove myself completely from that and just virtual card her a game or two rather than.
It's way easier if you've only got one. Both the boys have their own Switch profiles and stuff, and there are all limitations to what you can share them to, and it sounds quite restricted. I've not got into that yet, so I
mean, even the first few times,
what it's going to be like.
Even the first few times downloading games is put in your password again. I think I just told you I'd just saved the password. I wasn't sure if they'd increased the amount of parental tracking or whatever protection on it. I'm like, why am I it's 3 or 4 or 5 times I was like password again, and also 2-factor authentication code. I was like, bloody hell, what, this feels way worse than it was before. But maybe if I can just remove the parental stuff completely and just the virtual game cards, it will be a darn sight easier for me, and also no internet requirement when I play a game as well.
Yeah, it makes that a lot easier.
One thing I will say is, so the parental controls app, this has probably always been the case. It's just new to me. So in reality, you set the parental controls per Switch rather than per account. So I've got the Switch 2 is unlocked, whereas the Switch 1, because that's Isaac's, that has restrictions on it. Obviously, the problem with that is that I have to physically hide the Switch 2 because I know he will nick it in the morning and try and play it while I'm not awake. So.
To play a Rudy game.
I don't know if this is just the Switch 2 or if this is a recent update or it's something that has always been there and I just never figured out. But you can now set a passcode to actually even just open the Switch.
I'm pretty sure that's been there for a while. Yeah, I think
like a pin.
For a while.
Yeah, you can set a pin because I've set it so that instead of press, usually you have to press a button 3 times and then it unlocks it. I've set it so now it's just you press it once, then it asks for a passcode to get in.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty
more
sure
work.
I saw that setting in it a couple of years ago.
It kind of is more work in the sense that you have to do a button combination, but I prefer that because then I always just think if I lose it or something like that.
I was going to say, because there's chances it gets nicked. You don't want someone accessing everything. So
they can just reset it, can't they?
They'll take it straight to
no, they can,
but that means they can't get into your account and
exactly
straight to CEX.
Can I just mention something about the screen? Right. So Matt, you mentioned that there's a pre-installed screen protector on it. It's like a plastic film.
Yeah, and I can see if I look at it, you can see the edges don't quite meet the edge of the screen.
There's an issue with this, and firstly, I'm really struggling putting a screen protector on.
Really?
The one that comes the one that comes with it is floppy. It's not like a usual.
Well, it just comes with a case, doesn't it?
I prefer them. I hate the hard ones. But,
but it's so hard to put on without bubbles, and dust and all that sort of stuff. So I fucked that one up. I ordered another set of 2 screen protectors with
one of those
guide things on. With the guides one. Fuck both of those up. I just couldn't get it to work. So this one, the one that I've currently got, has got see that little bubble at the bottom there. Can see it? So that's going, and I ordered one from Temu that has one of those. The ones where you pull it's got an applicator that does it all for you, so I'm just getting good.
Using it for my phone, and they're a godsend.
Yeah, now I've got
to
send.
those, don't they?
Yeah,
I know
they're really good. So hopefully I can't fuck it up. Right, I hate D-Brand. But
I've gone off them as well at this point, don't worry.
Thank you. One thing that I did notice when I was applying this latest one was that the screen protector is fucked. Like, it's got scratches all over it. So if you not the screen protector that I was putting on, but the actual screen on the Switch has got scratches all over. So I don't want to ruin this for you because I know that this fucking pissed me off for a day. But if you get your Switch and you haven't got a screen protector on it, get a light, a torch, and really look closely at the screen. I bet it's covered in micro scratches.
And that's within a day, mine had.
Yeah.
I mean, like, mostly imperceptible, but yeah, they were there. So
I mean, you can't see them unless you're shining a bright light on it. But so I looked into this, and there's people on Reddit and everything saying, well, yeah, of course it is. They've added this plastic film over the top, and it's nowhere near as hard as the hard plastic in the Switch dock. Right. So the moment it touches it, it's going to leave micro scratches on. So like the advice was, get yourself a proper screen protector and put it on it like as soon as possible.
Oh, I haven't. Oh, no.
Yeah, yours is going to be fucked. But then so was mine, Matt. Like, I think that's the only thing that saved me, because I did not want to take it out of the Switch for the dock for that exact reason. I didn't want to take it out of the dock because I didn't want it to get scratched. And then when I was adding the fucking screen protector on, I was fuming, and it settled me down when I realised that everyone's got this. I was like, good, not just me then. But yeah, like, I cannot believe they've made that mistake, because that was a problem with the last Switch. The dock would scratch the screen. It happened with my OLED. My OLED's got a ton of scratches on it. I'm not selling it for that reason. It's too scratched on the screen because I didn't put a screen protector on it. So I'm getting this new one. So even though there's this huge bubble at the bottom of mine, I'm keeping it on there until the new screen protector comes, and then I can use. But it's pissing me off. I ain't gonna lie, it is pissing me off.
It just feels like this is a thing. I mean, I know obviously phones still get scratched one way or another, but like, I can't remember the last time I had something that felt this fragile. Like,
oh yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying. So this isn't a kid's toy. They need to get the light out pretty soon, and I don't know how they do that yet. But this is not something that I'm going to give Charlie to play. In fact, actually,
Isaac's going.
I mean, I've never hated myself more. I sat them down before they played it, and I went, right, here are the rules. You're not allowed to take it out of the dock. I don't want you taking it out of the dock. Charlie's not allowed near the Joy-Cons because he's peeled off the rubber on the Joy-Con sticks on every Joy-Con that he's got for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what he does, right? So it's absolutely no way. I've given him the old Pro controller because I think so he plays with that, and then we play it on the TV. A few other observations about the hardware of the console itself. I think the dock is ugly, and because it's got a load more bulk now to it with the fan and everything.
I totally agree with you about that. I was looking at it and thinking it doesn't look that great, actually, the dock.
And the fact that they've got the fucking USB ports at the front pisses me off. It's like, why put them not at the front? They've got it on one side.
Yeah.
So you've got to have cables coming out. Yeah, but you've
got cables coming out both ends.
You've got cables coming out both ends, and also if you're using a camera, you can only plug it into that side anyway. So it's
into the.
That's the thing. So the camera. So I mean, James, I've got the camera. The camera comes with a USB to USB-C cable. I'm like, okay. Looked on the dock. The dock has only got USB-A ports. I'm like, but it does have one. It has one. That one is just for the power. So I'm like, oh. Okay, so why didn't they supply like USB-C to USB-A? No, so I've got my camera plugged in, and when the switch is docked, it goes into the top of the switch. Whereas I want that camera to go permanently into the dock.
At the top.
I'm not doing that because what I'm using is the Pro controller. I think comes with a USB-C to USB-A cable, and I'm just using that one because I don't want to do that.
It came with a cable. I assume that was also USB-C to USB-C.
No, it's I don't want to do.
Oh, okay.
I really, really didn't want to do that, like plugging it into the top because it looks ridiculous, and it's just like I just want
an extra little chore every time you dock your Switch.
I just want to leave it
give us another USB-C cable on the on the USB-C port on the dock.
I mean, you can get an adapter, but you shouldn't have to, should you? It should come with one. Like, it's insane.
Can I just say something though when it comes to the camera? I'd like to formally apologise to Matt and James for the amount of shit that I gave you for ordering that. If there's one thing that we have loved about the Switch 2 from playing it this weekend, it's the camera integration. We've
been doing it with the Logitech C920.
Yeah,
it's been fine.
yeah, that's fine. But if you wanted to have a camera constantly hooked up to your Switch, then you might as well get the official one. Like, it's
way
cheaper than the
smaller than I thought it'd
Logitech
be.
one that I bought.
The camera's like 50 quid, but like also when I got given it on the counter at Smith's, I was like, it's so much smaller than I thought it'd be. I mean, I thought by looking at videos, it's like 30 centimeters tall, but it's a dinky little thing. It's like barely larger than my, admittedly, the Pro Max phone, but barely larger than my phone. And yeah, it's a nice little dinky thing. It's got a little security thing you can put on. You can like twist it to, to cover the lens if you're worried about that kind of stuff.
You're gonna fucking laugh at me. You're going to fucking laugh at
me.
Yeah,
the camera stuff's great. Like, Dave, you and I played Mario Kart.
I'm very, very, very tempted to get the Piranha Plant one.
but that's really low. That's like
it's poor.
It's low res.
380p.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. Sorry, the videos we've been looking at that thing is good quality.
Imagine the worst one though.
Absolutely dreadful. You could plug in a Game Boy Advance camera on it and it'd be fine.
The Piranha Plant won't be even worse.
Even worse than that. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it won't. It will be because it's all compressed and shit anyway. And at least it looks like a quirky little thing on the side rather than a stick with a camera pointing.
Cool.
But anyway,
kind of cool. Well, so as like quite a nondescript little black camera, you want a massive Piranha Plant stinking up your TV.
Boy,
it's not massive, but it
100%.
does look kind of funny.
So I've been using the Logitech camera and I've been putting it at the top of my TV.
You got a good camera.
TV. I've got to say, for the game chat shit, I've got a lot of negatives with game chat. I'm sure we'll cover it. But it's more the integration with Mario Kart World, the fact that you can play 4-player local gaming. So me, Joe, and the kids playing Mario Kart, and what happens? It says, "Do you want to use the camera?" And you're like, "Really? I thought this was for just online play, but it's not." It then shows you a full screen video from the camera, and then you adjust a circle around your head, and then it puts them above the characters as you're driving around. Way more fun that you could even consider. Honestly, Charlie hitting me with a red shell driving past and watching him laughing above the head of the characters driving away is priceless. Like, it's brilliant. And we had Joe's family over at the weekend and we all played Mario Kart World. And they went, "Oh, this is like iToy." And I went, "Yeah, it is." It is. but it works well. I fucking loved that. I thought it was such a good implementation into a game.
It
added so much to the
it's not high
experience.
tech at all, but it fucking works.
But
it's really funny. When Dave and I were playing, whoever's in front of you, if that person then gets shot or they crash, like that, their face spins round. It's just
exactly. And we were worried that I tried this with John, and John and I were really pissed off because it would seem that you would, if you wanted to use it online, you have to have the game chat bar at the bottom, which reduces your game screen.
Well, that's why I mean you played it. I was like, how can I not full screen like the game and have you?
You can.
But you can, yeah, because me and
James did it, and we were like, "Oh no, it actually works. We don't have to have that horrible chat bar." At the
do you do that in the game and not game chat? How do you? Because you know, we're trying to mess with the settings. How did you do it?
It just worked for me and James. I don't know. We must have been doing something wrong.
So full screen game, but you see James's little face in the corner.
Yep, the camera still works.
You only see it if somebody passes by or something like that. It's not there all the time.
It's the implementation. Okay. It's the same implementation.
So not permanent, but it is when James goes past you or vice versa.
His video is above his head, but that's how it always is in that game.
Yeah, we had loads of fun. Like playing with Isaac, and just the game became like. Whenever I noticed I was on his screen, I was just pulling stupid faces to try and put him off.
Yeah.
So
David did that to me actually, Sean. And
but then because Isaac started doing the same to me, he was then too busy looking at himself on my screen.
And then crashing. Yeah, we had the same thing.
Up as well, so.
Yeah. That was funny. Right. Okay. So we got that stuff. I do want to give a slight warning to people who may be picking one up in the near future and think, I don't need a new Pro controller. I've got a Pro controller for my existing Switch, and they've confirmed that work. For some reason, it doesn't turn the fucking console on, the old Pro controller, and it kind of feels like Nintendo have gone, let's fuck them a bit for not getting the new one.
Make them remember that they're poor.
So incredibly irritating that. Picking up it's synced to the fucking Switch too.
I mean, that's unforgivable. That's like, everyone else did that. They were like, that that's disgusting, but Nintendo feel like they got a bit more of a pre-pass. I mean, obviously we're talking about it is a joke, but like this, imagine if Xbox said, all your Xbox controllers, they don't turn the machine on anymore, you got new ones. That'd be like, are you kidding me? Or if Sony did it, or Xbox did it, I mean, people were livid. No one's mentioning it, they're not mentioning it enough.
Couldn't agree more, Matt.
Crazy.
Could not agree more. There's too much of this. It's Nintendo though, isn't it? Yeah, there's way too much of that, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
That controller should turn the machine on, for F's sake. It's ridiculous.
For a fucking console that is exactly like the last one, we've spoken about it for a long time. It feels like maybe we should move on to software, unless anyone else has got any hardware observations they want to bring to the table.
Not particularly. I mean, the only observation I've got is that the battery life is not brilliant, is it?
I've not been playing in handheld.
I haven't played enough to really maximise that.
Problems, but
I mean, it's definitely not as good as the OLED in the sense of I know that the battery is bigger because Nintendo Welcome Tour told me it's bigger, but then also I think it's drawing a lot more power, obviously, through the thing, and it's noticeably like going down quicker than the OLED did, I think.
Okay. My thing is, I've got the new Pro controller. I love it. I mean, I love the style. I like the kind of the two-tone color stuff.
Feels great.
It feels great. Yeah. It feels a lot smoother than the previous one. Obviously, the last one I got the Pro controller. Great controller. I love the kind of the tactile grip. This is smoother, but it just. I'm sorry, James. It does feel a bit more premium.
It does.
But I will say one thing. I've got it. I love it. I'm using it. I have not yet configured the two paddles at the back.
Yeah,
me neither.
I've not used
and I know you can, and it's not like there wasn't the main reason I bought it, but I'm like, I just haven't felt a need to do that yet. I will, but I love the controller. I love the previous Pro controller. I'm so glad I've got it.
One of the other things that is a bit irritating with the hardware, I think, is, and I'm sure that there definitely is reasons for this, like Bluetooth reasons or whatever. How like if you connect like a Bluetooth headset, that does work, but the microphone doesn't work. It only will use the microphone off either if you plugged into into the controller or the microphone off the console.
Yeah, standard Bluetooth protocol if you want to do recording and listening at the same time goes to like telephone quality, is my understanding.
Well, yeah, there's also the fact that you cannot use Joy-Con controllers and Bluetooth headphones as well. Right. Or something like that. So
no, you can.
Used.
There's a limit on how many you can use.
There's a limit on how many you can use. Yeah. So it said I went to use Bluetooth headphones and it went, you've got too many controllers connected to your Switch, and it was only it was the two Joy-Cons on the Pro controller. Yeah. Like, no, you can't do that.
So what? You had to just turn them off in the menu to.
I had to connect the Joy-Cons to the console for it to then allow me to use Bluetooth audio. Yeah.
Well, the original Switch was the same. It did exactly the same thing, and it was. But I mean, with that, it was even worse because when that launched, it didn't even support Bluetooth headphones.
Well, yeah, that's right. I
think it's because they knew it was. Yeah, you'd have to make these sorts of compromises, wouldn't you? So.
And the last thing, so I've got my Switch in a TV cabinet. I have to have the doors open because if I play my PlayStation on one side or the Xbox the other, and or Switch, you can hear like the fans go crazy. So I didn't have the doors open on the TV cabinet. But it's it's 5 feet away, and when I played Mario Kart with David, you're like, man, you sound really muffled, Matt, because my Switch is not on top of the TV unit. It's not right next to me, and it doesn't appear to be using like a microphone in the controller, like or anything.
No, it doesn't.
No, it's just a microphone in the console.
You'd have to plug in a headset that has
a
microphone with it.
Do I have to move my Switch on top of the TV cabinet?
Hold on, Matt. James Farley is my fellow. Welcome Tour compadre in this. We've done the quiz. Yeah. So they're clearly proud of the microphone in this. And in fairness to them, it does some amazing things. There's a special chip, Matt, that deals with the processing of audio for the microphone. And actually, I'm pretty blown away. Look, it's not as good as having a normal headset on. It's nowhere near as good as that. I'm pretty blown away by how well it works, even just off the top. Yeah, you were a little muffled, but I could hear you well enough. But then when you do the test, the demo, you done the demo, James?
Yep.
where you can run something in the background and talk.
Yeah.
I could not believe. I had music blazing on my phone. I used music. I put music, turned it up really loud, put it next to I put it quite close to the Switch, and then I was starting to talk, and then I listened to the recording playback. Couldn't hear the music at all, and just hear my voice. And I was like, that's pretty fucking good. But it also is way too much technology for something that I'm not going to use that often.
That's true.
It's the same with the mouse stuff, really. But
it does mean that, like, if I am playing online with anybody ever, which is very unlikely, at least it'll be like, I can put like Bluetooth headphones in, but then just still use the mic off the console.
That's what I've been doing.
Fine.
Yeah, that's what I was doing last night. It worked really well for that. Yeah. Right. Do we get to Mario Kart 8? Mario Kart 8? Mario Kart World.
Good game.
Where do we start? Who wants to start?
Shall I start? Because
oh god, I don't know if you should, because you don't like it and it angers me.
Oh,
You've
that's
been
not
slagging it
true.
off. Slagging it off.
Yeah, listeners, he's just so negative. It's been
This
like,
is the worst
God,
Nintendo game of all time. Give me
They
Still
should-
Diver.
We should
worst-
boycott. We hate them. They've ruined
Worst
my
Mario Kart ever.
Not my Mario Kart. He was trying to get trending in our WhatsApp group, which doesn't work. So you can't trend hashtags.
when I first started playing Mario Kart World, I had some problems with it. Most
Let's
of
hear
them.
those
Okay, James, what do you think?
Most of them I don't really care about anymore.
What were the problems?
I think the way you unlock costumes is annoying and boring, and I think it's probably my mistake for like thinking that would be a fun part of the game to sort of actively pursue, whereas I think it's meant to be like, look, just do the races, you'll pick up the
you
food
get
bags
loads
on
of
the way,
stuff,
and then whereas I thought it was like, oh no, I thought there was going to be like a fun like treasure hunt style thing where I go around trying to find all the food. It's not. It's fucking boring.
I did find it odd that not everyone reacts to all the food.
Well, exactly. Like different characters have different numbers of costumes to unlock, and then there are certain types of food that unlock different costumes, and then you just you'll just be driving around and it's like, oh, there's a food place, I'll drive over there, and then you use the food and it doesn't give you anything.
I'll tell you what's also weird with
odd,
that is how some characters have tons of costumes and others don't have hardly any.
Yeah, some have like 2 or 3.
But then it's like
and some have none.
Like, I don't understand why Waluigi's got like 1 million costumes, but then like
because they're more
Peach has
popular
got like
characters,
4.
Like,
I know, but it's like, some of the other characters are pretty popular as well, and it's like.
But
you've got tons.
what I will say about that is that I think you do one of two things. You either have every character available have the same amount of costumes, or which is the more logical thing and fun thing to do, or you don't let the characters that only have 2 costumes pick up an item that doesn't interact with them. Yeah, you let them only select the.
I mean, you still get a speed boost off it. That's still a thing.
Yeah, no, sure, but what I mean is that like. If your character only has 2 other costumes, let them only choose those two foods. That's it. Then the problem goes away. Yeah. You don't have a situation where you press the button and nothing happens. Like that is a weird.
Yeah,
I
it feels
don't
like the game is
understand that
bugged out or broken. I've had that. It's like, oh, I got one, brilliant. It disappeared. Like, did I do something wrong? It's just not very good as a user experience. Like, regardless of how, if it's like a great mechanic and makes you want to do more, the actual use of it just feels weird and wrong and broken. Okay. It's exciting when it does work, and you have got a new thing, and it's funny having racing as cow when you have like a burger on your head, which brings up all kinds of weird kind of connotations. But it's fun when it does work. But I'm less like, oh, there's a bag of food, I'll race to it. I'm like, I'll just get it if I get it,
Yeah. The other thing is Mario Kart 8. For the most part, I played as a blue shy guy, and I also sometimes played as a Yoshi, and you would choose your character, and then it'd be like, certainly sir, which colour would you like? There's a red shy guy, he has 2 other costumes, they both look bad. Yoshi, there's a lot of costumes, but like the colour of the Yoshi is dictated by the costume. It's not important, but I just I like being a blue shy guy.
I could not give a shit about that. Who gives a shit about
it's just
blue
a little
shy
backward
guy?
step,
Fuck
and
blue
also
shy guy.
the fact that there is no vehicle customization in this. I really like
backward
that.
step, Sean. Backward step.
It is.
You can't be blue shy guy.
There's less functionality.
Well, fuck you, both of you. Because
No,
when I
I've
was
got bigger issues
complaining that there was no Renegade Roundup, you laughed at me.
That's also an issue, yeah.
That's a whole fucking game mode. You can't be Blue Shy Guy. Fuck off. Couldn't give a shit.
No.
I played it, Sean. No one gives a shit about Blue Shy Guy. Oh, I wanted this really
I
obscure
do, and
character
James's
that I
son does
picked.
as well. So
It's true. Asher was upset.
Well,
Fucking
I was upset because
Renegade Roundup.
you can't
is
be a
not in
me
the
character
game.
either.
yeah, you can't be me.
Can't be me. I had me anyway. I went in just to double check I've got my save me. Still went back. Can't be me. So that's the worst thing this game's ever done. I'm writing to Nintendo. They're as bad as Microsoft for me, honestly.
I would predict that more people play as Blue Shy Guy than they're me in Mario Kart.
I've
Well,
never
they're
known
idiots.
anyone do that, honestly. It's like,
I do, James. So there's going to be literally tens of me out there, I'm sure.
I think, like, and also once you started unlocking a few of the costumes, the way they're organised in the menu's fucking awful.
Yeah, that
they're
is-
all
yeah, that-
Why do I-
individual
why do-
characters, like,
why
just
I love the
choose
fact
the
that it's got.
character and then
I
the
love the
outfit.
fact that it's got a button that says sort and it doesn't explain what it's sorting. You just
It
press
sorts them by
sort.
character, but it's like, no, it's like, just let me choose Mario and then go, right, which Mario do you
Yeah.
want? Don't list every single Mario.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
fucking
crazy way of doing it.
there's a whole
Is that
bunch
it for the
of like,
negatives? Because I want to get excited. Come on.
Yeah,
what-
so
Alright,
I
can
also
the
missed the vehicle
negatives?
customization, but I've since found one that I fucking adore, and I don't need to unlock any others now.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm happy.
see. The vehicle customization actually pissed me off with Mario Kart 8. I didn't like it.
I just
think-
kept pressing A, or A
I
just
thought
to
it
get
was
through it.
cool, but it just really, it was like, oh god, I've got to select the fucking, what the fucking wings as well. Like it was, yeah, it used to
Makes a
piss.
slight difference to your acceleration for some reason.
yeah. I sort of got tired of that stuff, so I'm kind of glad they got rid of that. And some of the vehicles look really fucking cool. Like I'm a bike guy when it comes to Mario Kart, and some of the bikes in this are just funny. And
Have you unlocked the tape deck, the stereo?
no,
That's
no,
the one I'm using. It's fucking.
I'm rocking the
great.
moped with Yoshi at the moment. It's where it's at.
I've
Yoshi,
just gone standard cart. I just like a standard
you
cart.
could do standard Kart and a me. You are the worst Mario Kart player of all time.
That's not true,
I actually
David.
hate you.
I actually hate you
as a
too.
human.
the only.
Wanker.
Can I just talk about one other negative that I've got?
Yeah, but I
and
want
that's
to
it.
fucking talk about how much I love this game, and I think it's amazing. But go
No,
on,
it is amazing. The only thing that the way that the free roam stuff works, I find a bit irritating. Like,
Yeah, the free roam stuff's a bit disappointing, isn't it? There's not much to
P-Switch
it really.
challenges.
I'd like to know where they are. Like after I've done them or whatever. So then
You want a
it's
checklist? There's no
the way
checklists.
that the way that all that works is really baffling to me. Like it's odd. But apart from that, that's the only thing I've
Okay,
got.
Get a
fucking hell!
sticker.
This is a fucking incredible game, and I love it so much. Like we have had so much fun with it. I think the increase to 24.
Yeah,
players
24. It makes a
is
huge difference, doesn't it? It feels so
so
different.
much fun, and also it means that they clearly. I don't know if you've noticed this, but Nintendo have clearly noticed that if we've got this many people firing off this many fucking items all in this track, we need to make it not so bad when they get hit by a red shell. Like the sort of damage, not damage, but the downside of getting hit
I've
by
definitely
an item
noticed this.
vastly reduced.
Yeah,
because
it
you
feels
are
like you're up
getting
really
hit
quickly actually now.
constantly. Yeah.
And the same thing if you like bump into like other cars that are coming the other way and stuff like that. It's not
Totally.
anywhere near as
Yeah, it doesn't
punishing.
fuck you up anywhere near as
Like
much.
when
Do
the
you remember that?
Bullet Bill shoots through like everyone, it just nudges them to one side. It doesn't like hit them.
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
knock them and slow them down.
Yeah, so they've clearly thought about all that stuff. But the manicness of having like 12 characters going around a corner at the same time, all of them getting into each other's slipstream and hilarious. Like it's so much fun to play. The more I play it, the more I'm forgetting the little issues that I've got with it and just falling in love with it. Like it's not Mario Kart 8 and it's not trying to be Mario Kart 8. And in fact, actually, it's gone in a direction that I wish it didn't go. I wish that I've said this a million times on the podcast. Like I wish it was the Smash Brothers of Mario Kart, where they said every level is based on a Mario character or a Nintendo character, and they did it like that. It doesn't do that. Link isn't in this, is he?
No.
No, he's not.
I mean, I think
he's
all this is coming.
Yeah,
It's all
it's
going
all
to be
coming.
coming. There's going to be loads of add-ons for this.
But my point is the more I play it, all of those little frustrations, like another major frustration for me is that I cannot link up with you guys and then we join an open server, an open race. Like there'd be nothing better than the four of us getting together and go, right, let's go to a knockout tour.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
What a good laugh that would be. You cannot do that. You can't do that at this point. We tried the whole thing where I try and jump in a race and someone joins quickly. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I can't get it to work. So there's no way of playing with you either play with randoms or you play with friends, and you can't cross over, and that sucks, right? But all those little niggles, once you get over that, you're left with just a fantastic Mario Kart game. So I don't know what I'm sure your favourite game modes will come up, but my favourite thing to do with this is that you can go in and play an online game split screen, which you could do in loads of games, right? But here, there's nothing better than me and Harry sitting down and saying, let's do a couple of knockout tours. And the both of us are playing a knockout tour together, and then he'll get further than me, or I'll get further than him, and then we'll have a laugh together. And then
Can
the
you do
moment
knockout
ends,
tour
we're doing the next one.
online or not?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No. So can you do knockout tour with you two plus online players?
Yes, that's what we're doing.
So literally, it says just your friends you can't join to a multiplayer online game, but you can do it split screen. Okay.
So me and Harry can play split screen, and we can either play with my friends, as a split screen pair, or we can go into an online random game. And that's what we've been doing. We've been doing online random games and trying to get as far as we can with Knockout Tour. If you don't know what Knockout Tour is, it's the Battle Royale version of Mario Kart, where you do a lap or whatever. You hit a checkpoint and the bottom four people get cut off. You need to be above that. And then, of course, that always goes down to the last 8 and then the last 4, and then you're a race between 4 of you.
The
to
most
get to
stressful thing in your life.
Oh my God, it is so stressful.
It's really good, though.
It's brilliant.
It's so stressful. Yeah. It's the best thing that I've played in a Mario Kart game ever. Like, it's my favourite thing they've added to Mario Kart.
It works so well with it.
It does work
just
really well.
Feels like it's always been there.
I enjoy even that, those long stretches that there are sometimes, between areas. It's like, even that's enjoyable because you're picking up items and you're still jockeying with people as well as you're getting through it.
Because everything, the one thing that brings in the open worldness to it is that the tracks themselves, some of them are super wide, but some of them have massive fucking horseshoe bends that you could just cut through if you've got the right amount of mushrooms. So you never feel totally out of it. You always feel that you're in a chance of being in that top, the top 4 or the top 8 or whatever. There's always that chance if you play it right.
We've all had the frustration of being, near the finish line and then, blue shell, red shell, red shell.
Yeah.
When that happens at the end of a knockout thing, the frustration is multiplied by a fucking 1,000.
It's the worst thing ever. However,
on the other hand,
when it happens the other way around,
that
it feels the best thing ever. Yeah. When you're 16th and you've got to be in the top 12, you're like fuck, and then all of a sudden you do what is it? You put mushroom in and then just pass someone on the line and you're still going. The best feeling ever. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth. I think.
I think it was Jeff Grubb who posted a video of someone, or maybe it is Imran Khan, who posted a video of like a blue shell appearing, and then they press down to do the rewind, and so the blue shell misses them.
Yes.
But people are saying, well, I mean, that's great. It's like, oh man, it's a brand new kind of meta or hack or whatever. But people are saying, well, because the recovery is so much quicker now, is this actually saving you time? Is it better to get hit and then drive on or rewind? Because the rewind, did they even tell you about that? Like,
they don't tell you anything about anything.
Well, you can rewind. I mean, I guess I may have semi-remembered from the previous direct, but I was like, oh, there's rewind in this, and I just accidentally pressed down on the D-pad, and it felt like cheating to do it.
So that's interesting. You can do that during an online race.
Yeah, you can do it. But it just reminds you, not everyone else, obviously. But it just. But I don't see. I just felt weird. I don't really like rewinding racing games, but it just feels like cheating.
I'm bad at them, but but I think certainly in this case, I think there's probably a skill to knowing when it's worth doing.
Yeah. But I want to see someone time if you got hit by a blue shell versus rewinding and avoiding it, like how much you save or not save. But I mean, speaking of tactics, Dave, you shared a video earlier today of like that wall riding.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because
the wall riding stuff. Yeah. Okay. So it introduced wall riding and rail grinding, and I've been playing the game and not touching that element of it because I can't see how it improves your times.
I've been trying but I feel like I fuck myself up.
I do grinding, but grinding basically you get like a permanent boost. I'm like, well, if I'm on this permanently boosting, or just I'm gaining the boost, like what is the benefit here? But then it's actually about jumping from rail to rail. But if you're just doing one on the side of the track, I'm like, well, I feel like I'm better placed just being on the track and
just driving,
doing a standard boost.
But use it for boosting and stuff like that. It could be quite good for that.
People are starting to realise how important it is to do that stuff now. And you watch some of the videos of people playing quite regularly, and you're like, holy shit! I can see if you nail this stuff, you're just going to piss. Like you can absolutely kill everyone. Like you get nowhere close. Like it's crazy how.
Yeah, the video you shared of people grinding and then also make sure they jump at the right times off a jump to make sure they miss the lip of another one. Then grinding, then boosting. It's like, okay, this feels like almost like a completely different game.
Chaining into wall rides.
Yeah.
It's look. I mean, Mario Kart World, I think, is one that has its frustrations, and we've vented them. I think ultimately it's. I'm not going to call it better than Mario Kart 8 yet. You can't compare it to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's no point in comparing it because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was a game that had years of development behind it and improving
and years of DLC,
new content and DLC and stuff. You can't compare it to that. You got to compare it to the original Mario Kart 8. I think I'm preferring this simply because of the knockout tour, and I mean, obviously it's beautiful. It's never going to take the step up that Mario Kart 8 did visually, because that was a huge step forward for the series. But some of the animations, especially when it comes to the water stuff, it's fucking incredible. Getting a blue shell in the water, or seeing someone get a blue shell in the water, and the waves it creates, and all of that stuff, it's so good.
I'll tell you what, the water stuff, it made me feel I'd like to play a wave race again. Like, it's like
I think this was way more. This is way more arcadey than Wave Race was.
Well, no, Wave Race was
anyway, but
Wave Race was pretty arcadey.
Super arcadey.
Yeah, but if you go back to it, it doesn't feel similar. I saw a lot of reviews saying it feels like Wave Race. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Come on, man, it doesn't. But it does feel really good. Like it does feel excellent.
See, also, I think for this, like the foundations, I think for this are like really strong, and this is why I'm hoping it is going to evolve over the next couple of years with more stuff. More tournaments.
And this thing's going to be developed upon now until Switch 3, isn't it? This will be the platform for Mario Kart, and we will get those features. We'll get the DLC stuff.
I just hope it's not just new stuff, and they turn around and go, "Oh, people want a link up in a lobby and then go to a public game."
Well, is that not more of a system?
And that's what concerns me. Yes, that's what
I was thinking. Like, it's a better. Like, okay, if it's a system level thing that they would love to. I'd be great if they implemented like Xbox and PlayStation with setting up parties and going from game to game. But does that mean they're more likely to do it or less likely to do it?
It's not that, because I mean, with like with Splatoon 3, like we had this at the start of that where it was like, oh, you can't do that, but you can actually, like now, like that. I think it was maybe an update or something whereby you could join a party, you could have a group working together, and then you could just join and play randoms. You could totally do that.
Yeah, because I remember like for Splatoon 1 and 2, obviously that wasn't an option, and it was like, fuck, like Nintendo think this is correct. This is a decision they've made.
Yeah. This is a decision they made, and they're going to stick with it. Yeah. I really hope they address that in Mario Kart, because that's a game changer for me and my mate to turn around and go, let's go and join a random knockout tour. That is it. I will play hours upon hours of that. If that's an option.
If you could do a split screen, so.
And if they're worried about the chat and all that, there's an easy way with this. You just do it so it's like, okay, chat only works with people that are in the party you're in. Like,
that is how it works.
From the
That's how it works.
Don't worry about bringing in other people and stuff.
That is how it works, and that's how it should work. And so that side of things fine. And it's certainly not going to be, well, you can team up in there and. Well, who cares? It's Mario Kart. I get hit by a blue shell when I'm on the line. Like, it doesn't
it's not an
work like that. No one gives a shit. Yeah.
Can we talk, the game acts like this is like a surprise reveal. Can we talk about the final track? Or should we not?
Can we hold off for a week, because I've not played it yet?
Fine.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I mean, I've seen it.
Harry's unlocked it, and he's played it, and he said it's the greatest thing he's ever seen. But I don't know if I can trust that boy. Is it really that good?
It's good. It's good. It's good.
I got like weirdly emotional playing it. Like,
so do you have to complete every cup for that, and it unlocks it?
Yeah.
yeah. I
See,
don't
I'm
think you
not
have to
doing the
like
cups.
place. I don't think you have to like win or anything. I think you just have to do all the cups, and then it's
Yeah,
Oh,
I've done a few
God.
cups. I mean, the tracks are excellent. Like,
Yeah, but you're doing them in 50cc. Why are you doing them in 50cc?
Oh, Matt, you're not, are you?
because I'm going to get all the 50s and all the 100s and all the 150s.
See,
but
I
no,
was
no,
going to
you
do
do
the
the-
same thing.
It
Oh,
unlocks
it
the slower
unlocks them
ones.
for
Oh,
you.
okay,
See,
I'll do.
David told me that when I was playing it, and I was kicking myself because I'd done all the 50s, and then I was just like, "Oh, I'm not doing this now."
Okay, so I'll do 150. Okay.
50cc. That
It
is
is
really...
crazy how slow it is. But also, what do you guys think about the fact there's no 200cc in this one?
Well, there
again,
wasn't
that was a
in
late
Mario Kart 8.
addition to-
Yeah.
No.
That
Okay.
was
That was
DLC.
added, yeah.
So it'll show up.
Matt just went, okay. It's a very good game.
It was really good.
We will be talking about it next week. I'm conscious of how long this podcast is going, and we still have Welcome Tour to talk about. And anything else we've played. James, can we talk about Welcome Tour?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
How far into it are you, Sean and Matt? Have you played much of it?
I've only done the left Joy-Con. That's it.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I'm on that now. Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed things, but
It is a travesty that this wasn't free. And
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of think pieces and a lot of like hot takes saying, well, actually, you shouldn't expect it to be. This is a marketing tool. It
Yep.
wants to teach you how this fucking console works, and it wants you to tell people and show off these little demos. You won't do that because the demos are dreadful.
Yes,
and,
they are.
and like some of them just... I am obsessed, James, with the HDR demo. I'm obsessed with it. So you haven't got to this bit, but when you get to the screen, there's a HDR demo, and you go into this thing, and it says, set off fireworks, press different buttons for different fireworks. You can pause it, and then press X to switch between HDR mode and normal mode.
Yeah.
It barely changes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it
really
is,
barely changes.
If anything, confirmation that you shouldn't fucking worry about HDR.
no,
because
I
it
mean
does no difference.
that's just inventation. Like people, if you go for the actual HDR setup on the console, it looks weird and shit. It's like
Well, because
I think
everyone's saying it's the.
I think it's just
Okay.
their
Is bollocks.
implementation
You're
of what
jumping
HDR
in
is.
because you're both defending HDR, right?
No, I'm
But
not defending it at all. I've turned it off.
Right, okay. So I have done that, Matt. I've gone into the OLED settings, followed all the instructions that people are posting anywhere, went back into that demo, and went, oh, it still doesn't look much different between HDR and standard, right?
But I think it does on other consoles, is what I'm saying. I
Have
think
you done
HDR
this? Have you done this demo?
No, I haven't. No, but
This is what I'm talking
No,
about.
but I'm saying HDR implementation on Switch 2 seems rubbish. But I don't think
Right.
HDR is rubbish in general because it looks great on PlayStation.
I've sat with like John Denton when he first got a HDR TV. I sat with him and he flicked between HDR on what was it, Horizon Dawn. He flicks between HDR, he clicks it, and he switched between HDR and non-HDR, and I was like, there's a noticeable difference. Here, a tech demo that Nintendo have put together to show you what HDR is, right? Makes no difference.
Yeah.
It's fucking funny. I took it on and I thought, well, maybe if I just do it on the screen, on the actual screen they provided, that's when we'll see the big difference. You don't. I love that demo so much for how much it proves that HDR doesn't make a difference on this thing. Like, it's fucking well funny.
So,
There's also another demo that made me really laugh because it was like, hey, have you heard of 4K? And I'm like, yeah, a lot. I've heard of 4K a long time ago.
I've owned
Nintendo.
non-Nintendo
Is
console.
this the Mario
so
one?
yes.
Yeah, the Mario one.
I-
Where
I
all that
joke-
does is make you squint to look
Yeah,
at Mario.
I had to go and sit really close to the TV so I could see what was going on. It was quite annoying.
And
It's,
some of the games are really fucking funny as well. Like the one where you've got touch 10 different points on the screen.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite fun, right? Because it was a bit like weird. It was like playing Twister with your hands on the screen. But my favourite of all the mini games that I've played so far is, hey, like this is so funny. I'm sorry to ruin this because this is a spoiler for you, you guys. Hey, so we've got a mini game based around the stand for the Switch. So put the stand on the Switch and then enter the mini game. Yeah, okay, right. Now put the stand to 45 degrees.
Oh yeah, the angle one. Yeah.
You are at 48 degrees, so that's 3 degrees out. Now put it at 26 degrees. I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
This is a game they're asking
No,
me.
there's a worse one, David. The worst one I've come across is the HT Rumble one with the when you have to like try and work out where it's strongest.
Oh man.
We like that one. Me and
No,
Charlie
no.
did that together.
But have you done it like to the highest level? Like
Yes.
if you get into HT2, like when you get to like to the second attempt of it,
with the
I
2-axis thing.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like I can't do it to get 3 because
Right,
I'm
so
doing
this
it.
is so this is you get a graph, right, and you point to somewhere in the graph, and somewhere in this graph is a
Point, which is the
is
most,
a point which is the strongest rumble, and you have to get as close to that point as possible. I got to admit, it was shit, James. But
Yeah.
me and Charlie were doing it, and we were like really into it because we were both holding onto the pad and arguing with each other. And then when we pressed the button and we were in the right place, we went ballistic. Like we just won the World Cup. It was fucking great.
But I did it. One of the ones where it's like I think it's where you're like it's the third one, and it's like. I'm off by like a tiny amount, and it's just like, better luck next time. And I'm just like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to find the point on this.
The accuracy it asks of you for the
because it feels the same. It's
In terms of other games,
you're talking about not the. So you do one level of it, which is 2 medals. The next level of it, you do 2 medals.
3
You're
levels.
talking about the one after that.
yeah.
Oh right, okay, yeah, I've not done the one after that
It's
yet.
ridiculous.
I've really enjoyed. I mean, I haven't played as much as you, but I've really enjoyed the mouse one where stars are coming down from the screen and bombs, and you've got to move the mouse.
That was all right.
I was really impressed with how responsive it was. I mean, Elodie played it first, and I think maybe if you get 30 or 40 to get like the gold or the top score, and she was struggling because she was playing it on the couch on top of a throw. I was like, yeah, you're not going to get a lot of action out of that, but I played just on like a side table, and I was really impressed with how responsive it was and how accurate it felt. I mean,
yeah, but how uncomfortable does it feel after like 10 minutes of using that mouse?
Yeah, I mean, I've probably, I mean, it's not an ergonomic mouse. I'm not sure how I'll be able to play like a Metroid game in that, but I was really impressed with how responsive it was.
I mean, but to be fair, we've had fucking wireless infrared mice for ages. It's not,
and you can connect a USB mouse and keyboard to this console if you wanted to play it that way, but I just thought it was fun and a little plaything. I don't know how many games are going to use this. I don't know if I'm going to... I mean, actually, I will say, I was impressed with the responsiveness to the point where I'm like, maybe Metroid could be a viable option using this.
No way.
Not if you want to play more than, like a decent amount of time, but it didn't cram my hands. But
I tried playing Civilization 7 with it, like in mouse mode, and it kind of does work. Like it does work. In some ways it does start to feel like, I feel like I'm playing like on PC again. Like which I've done for years, like in terms of like with the mouse control, which is quite nice. But then after a while, it's the hand cramp because it's not comfortable to hold for like long periods of time. Is the issue with that.
I guess I didn't play it long enough, but I didn't have any issues with that. But anyway,
I
was impressed.
I would have to say with Civ 7, the difference between the Switch version and the Switch 2 edition version of it, I paid £10 to upgrade it, and it's incredible. Like the difference, it runs really well, like on the Switch 2. Like at least so far it is anyway. Because on the original Switch, even if you were playing on on a tiny map, it was so slow and so just like dreadful. But now, it's totally playable. It's very good.
Have you all played lots of the other upgrades? I mean, or maybe we'll come up to that.
Well, no, we'll come on to that. Just let me finish with let me finish with this fucking weird game that Nintendo have asked you to buy that definitely should be free, and the arrogance of thinking they could charge for these quizzes that are like when you do an asbestos awareness training and it says asbestos is bad for you read a pamphlet and it goes asbestos is bad for your lungs, and then you go to the test at the end of the training thing and say asbestos is bad for your lungs,
feet,
eyes, talking. Social situation,
Soul,
and you're like, what the fuck?
The first time I did one of those
here?
things, I was like, okay, there's lots of information I need to write. Well, I didn't write anything down. I was like, I need to really take this in, but sensors this, and then it was just, basically do a
it's
quiz.
cool. Like I did want to know
I didn't
how
mind it,
HD
but I
Rumble
wasn't
works,
like, I
and
don't
it
need to really
works.
I don't need to revise here, do I? I can just play it normally and just understand the answer without having to. Oh no, what did they say in the previous section about what the camera sensor is or the mouse, how quick it is? No, just use the one that doesn't say you can use a mouse to walk the dog and buy shopping or control games.
Have you got all the stamps, David? Because I've done that as well.
For the left, the stamps.
For the entire
game? You know, there's
for the left Joy-Con, I got that, and then for the screen, I've got all the stamps. But that's as far as I've got.
Yeah, I got the stamps for everything. Like, just because what I did was I just ran through the whole thing and did all the stamps first. You know, because stupidly I just thought, well, you know, if you do that, you could easily then like teleport between them, so then you haven't got to like walk around.
That's
trouble, which is good. But then it doesn't matter anyway because it's not very good. I don't think I am quite disappointed with the whole thing. I mean, somebody in the chat said, "Is it worth buying?" And I'd say no. I don't think it is.
Well, but is it not worth buying to give you something else to play? I mean, it's a very underwhelming launch because it's really just Mario Kart and this. So I bought Mario Kart to have something else to play.
Mario Kart is a fucking brilliant game, but it is also Mario Kart, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's not a Zelda Breath of the Wild. There's not a single player experience to really get stuff
Mario,
into.
Donkey Kong, Zelda, even like Mario Party Jamboree, like anything else would have been good. I mean, Mario Kart, amazing fun, but I really think it misses like a single player game of some sort.
Well, I mean, this is the one thing that I've been trying to sort of help through that dark period until DK comes out. And that's I've been playing Bowser's Fury on it because Bowser's Fury was a Mario game that came out at 30 frames, which is not how a Mario game should play, really. I mean, it was still good and you sort of got over it quickly. But the upgrade, the free upgrade to Bowser's Fury, it plays how a Mario game should play now. And fucking hell, playing through that again at, I don't know if it's 60. I think it might be 40. I'm not 100%
no, it's totally
sure.
60.
It is 60, is it? Fucking hell, it feels like a new game, and I'm really happy with the upgrade to that.
Well, when you say free, is that one of the free ones if you're an expansion pack member? Or is it
that's free
thing?
regardless, I think.
Oh, yeah, because obviously the Zelda, Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom, they have upgrades for free if you are an expansion pack member, but the Bowser's Fury upgrade is just something for everyone.
Yeah,
playing Tears of the Kingdom on an OLED big screen on the Switch 2 is a fucking really good experience. Like it reminds me of when I played Forza Horizon on the Series X for the first time, and I was like, okay, there's no games for the Series X, but fuck me, this is like a new one.
This is. I mean, I've been good and I've been busy this weekend, but I'm like, it does feel like when you get a new graphics card or new console, like I wanted to buy Cyberpunk, I wanted to buy No Man's Sky, I wanted to buy that Fast RMX just to see it and see how it would perform and. You know, it's fun like that.
Yeah, I keep hovering over No Man's Sky because
it's on sale, isn't it? Currently,
it's on sale. It's like 15 quid, and they've done a Switch 2 version of it, and
it's got all the DLC, isn't it?
It's fully up to date with all the other versions. I do not need that on another machine. I've already got it on Steam and on Xbox, so I'm fine. But yeah, there's that draw of like, oh yeah, there'll be something to play though. Like I bought Fast Fusion.
Oh, that's Fast Fusion, yeah.
Why would you buy that when you got F-Zero GX for free on it? Oh my god,
I knew Fast Fusion
just feel something.
If nothing else, I knew Fast Fusion would be like a cool, like technical showcase, and also because it supports the game share thing, and I thought it'd be cool to test that out with Isaac. So, like I was explaining to him. Like, oh yeah, so it sort of sends the game to your Switch as well, so you can technically play a Switch together. Because I didn't realise, because when I first looked into it, it was like, it's sharing a video feed with the other Switch, which is why, you can play like Switch 2 games on a Switch 1 technically. But I thought it was just mirroring what was on the Switch 2, but it's not. It sends a separate video feed, which is impressive. Yeah. Or it would be if it didn't look really bad.
Oh no!
Literally, like Isaac is 7 years old, and I connected it to him, and I was like, all right, okay, like, is it working? And I looked over, and he just went, "Daddy, it looks rubbish on mine." Like, just the video compression, it's super low res. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe other games would be different. I don't know.
I tried it with Big Brain Academy.
Oh yeah,
and that with the family because and it worked okay, but yeah, it was noticeably a bit like fuzzier on their screens than it was mine. Because this is the thing. Like Ash was like, "Do you think we could do this with Mario Kart World?" And it's like, no, you can't. You can't share that, which is a shame. Yeah, because that would have been quite good. But yeah,
but never mind. But yeah, so I've so the same as Dave. I played a bit of Tears of the Kingdom again. Turns out there's still like quite a few side quests I never did, so that's been quite nice. And yeah, doing a bit of Bowser's Fury again. But you do sort of, you're like, on the one hand, this is great, but also it's kind of bad that I'm resorting to just replaying old stuff.
Yeah.
Matt's right though. It really is like it's like nothing maybe particularly looking at stuff, and it's like
you want to just like find something else to play on it. And I mean, as I said, Mario Kart, amazing game, but it's so underwhelming. Like this. It's just such a bad launch in that regard. In years past, we had like 20, 30, 40 games on launch, and I know the world's different now and the market's different, the industry's different, but anything else, like there was such an open goal for any other game to come out and properly bang. And the fact that even Nintendo didn't get their own, Super Mario Party Jamboree, they didn't get their own patch ready in time for the launch of their own hardware. It's just, I don't get it. Well, maybe they're spacing things out on purpose, and I get that, to keep a nice momentum of games, but anything else would have done really well, actually.
Well, because what's been so strange as well is that like there's loads of Switch 1 stuff that hasn't technically been upgraded in any way, but people are trying them out and being like, oh shit, this runs way better now than it used to, because I guess it always had an uncapped frame rate, so now it's benefiting from the extra power of the Switch 2 or whatever. And I feel like if more devs had realized like how flaky the launch lineup would be, I think they'd have made sure, right, let's make sure our Switch game has an unlocked frame rate, and let's fucking tell people.
Definitely.
Like, put it on sale and just,
I wonder if devs now are racing, because there's a huge opportunity before, so Donkey Kong is July?
5 weeks away.
Mario Party, when's that? I mean, there's a huge window now for people to be the kind of, here's a game you should play on the Switch after you've done Mario Kart World. I think there's...
Well, this is what annoys me slightly. The one game that really sticks out that I think, holy shit, if they announced Hades 2 version 1.0 like within the next week, fucking hell. Yes, perfect. That is the perfect game to play on the Switch 2. Handheld, really, really good. Something you can spend a lot of time on getting into. I mean, for me personally, that was a Switch game. I know a load of people played it on PC and elsewhere, but I fucking love that. That would be the one for me. And it kills me that wasn't lined up really, but
and unlike playing on Switch 1, we know that it will run well on Switch 2 because it's more powerful hardware. We're out now of the it's out on Switch, but googling, is indie game, does it work well on Switch 1, or should I get another console? Now I'm just like, okay, back to buying all my indies on Switch where I'm going to get the most play, and it's going to look great on that device.
Right, well, we should probably wrap up for this week. There will be plenty more Switch 2 chat next week. We'll be playing this a lot more throughout the week, although I've already hammered that fucking system. It's nuts. And I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say in the coming weeks about the Switch 2 and its launch. But we have been running really long this week, so we're going to call it there. Are we happy to call it there?
Yeah, I think that's fair, yeah.
Good. Well, I know, James, you don't need to answer.
I'm good.
Listen, we thank you so much for living it. A bit of a different show this week. James is off next week. So we have the returning... Ellie Gibson is returning to the show, and we know how much our listeners love having Ellie on. I'm really excited to
we can't
have her
stand
back.
her, but the listeners...
Yeah, I know, keep demanding that she comes back on the show. So hopefully Ellie's got a Switch too.
Last time she was a Sony pony, wasn't she? So
That's right. Thank you so much for living it. We will catch you next week for more video game chit chat. We hope you have a lovely week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
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 Not in time.